So, I'm going to act cool, calm, and collected, pretend to all of our lovely viewers and podcast and VOD and everything right now that there was not absolute chaos up until this very moment. However,
listen to me, everyone. She's lying. Don't believe the lies. Don't believe them.
Announcements, y'all. Again, huge thank you for all your support for our anniversary. We hit our goal, and a huge special thank you to Duval for helping us complete it at the very last day. So you will have your one-on-one sessions coming at you and a brand new intro video coming at you as soon as we can get those going. We have a lot of stuff in the works, so I do want to tease a couple things. The first being that we may or may not have a new show coming up soon. It's in the woodwork, so please keep an eye on social media or what social media is left in the world after Twitter goes up in flames. We do have a new Tumblr account for that very reason, so you can find us on tumblr.com/WafflesMapleSyrup. For now, we'll find other places as well, wherever we end up being. However, we're still on Twitter, don't get me wrong. We're there because we put a lot of freaking effort into that, and we're not just going to abandon it right now. However, meanwhile, one other announcement, which is every face you see here on screen right now will be at PAX Unplugged this December, which is huge and so exciting. So if you are going to be going to PAX Unplugged,
3 weeks from now, everyone.
As long as you're respectful, come find us, and we will be so happy to see you.
You might be crying.
Yes, if you want us to sign any of your merch.
Oh my gosh, we would be honored. And speaking of merch, we do have that merch reminder.
I would literally die right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I need you to go find Star and say, "Oh my God, it's Star," because she deserves that in every single way. Now, that beautiful merch, Duval, one more time if you don't mind. Look at that Where the Fuck's Perception t-shirt that we have now in our brand new store. And again,
literally today. Thanks, Maddie.
To So Maddie Games for the help with the merch store. We super appreciate it. You're doing an awesome job. It's so exciting. There's already like stuff that we're gonna keep releasing. I'm so excited. However, at PAX Unplugged, if you are going to be at PAX Unplugged and you do want to see us, I can tell you there's a couple of places that you will, for sure, find us because a couple of us are on some panels that weekend. So very quickly, I'm gonna pull this up here. Had it up. Hold on. All right, cool. Super quick.
I can tell
you don't have. You can pause this and write this down or whatever. But this is just gonna be really quick. Maria, Duval, and Waffles will all be on GMing your first ttrpg. How to stop worrying about failure on Friday at 4 p.m.
I'm running that one, everyone.
There you are.
Oh my gosh, Maria's modding.
I'm doing it.
Now, on Saturday, I'm so freaking proud of our Waffles because our Waffles, y'all, is on Disabilities at the Gaming Table at 2:30 p.m. And then, as well, Maria and Duval are on The Asexual Bard, Representation Beyond Tropes at 4:00 p.m. Both of those are on Saturday. And then myself, oh gosh, I'm the only one doing panels on Sunday. But y'all, you can find me 2 places on Sunday. First, Monster Menu, Cooking Your Kills, where I get to put my foodie nature to very good use by telling you how I'm going to cook all these great monsters. That's at 1:30 p.m. And then, this is one that I'm kind of really proud of. It's, where is it again? UX design and TTRPGs and games. Y'all, I'm a graphic designer. I don't know if you knew that. And I'm really excited to talk about that at 4:00 p.m. on Sunday. Okay, that's where you're going to find us at PAX. Sorry for that long-windedness, but it's cool stuff, and we hope to see you there.
Go stop.
Yeah. Fine, everything's fine. All right, now that's that. And then again, huge thank yous to our sponsors tonight, which is Roll20. We are a part of the Roll20 Ambassador Program, and we do use their VTT, which you'll see tonight because there's plenty of combat to be had. And Eldritch Osiris Games. Y'all, Eldritch Osiris Games is the first TTRPG workers co-op in history. Eldritch Osiris Games is built on the foundation of giving voices to creative authors who don't normally have a roadmap into the publishing industry. They push for as a diverse set of voices of the company as they can, regardless of a person's identity. We think that's pretty darn cool. You can go find them at eldritchosirisgames.com. They have a lot of Pathfinder2e supplements, so if you like Pathfinder2e, like I like Pathfinder2e, you should go check some of that stuff out. Okay, thank you. Y'all's support means the world. I think we're ready to hit that beautiful intro video.
Yeah, let's go.
And get this class started.
Bring the noise,
Come on,
Sarah.
y'all.
Let's do this.
Cue the doom music.
Go team.
Y'all. Dun, dun, dun. Save us. Come on in, take your seats. Maybe the last time you take your seats here with us tonight.
How the fuck? Wait a minute, no! We were being good!
Why are you like this?
I can't. It's too easy. So last we left off, we had an amazing 1-year anniversary special where our lovely individuals here had some much needed confrontations. No, definitely conversations. And had, started dealing with some of the stuff that maybe was left unsaid for a while. After going through some much needed, I don't want to say exposition, but some much needed information sharing. Well, it was time for the first masking ceremony, where our lovely initiates became attendants of the Magaambya. These individuals were all, some of them were a little bit blindsided by their families appearing in the auditorium prior to the ceremony, in which, some were joyful reunions, some were neutral reunions, and some were conflicted reunions. After which the ceremony started, yet they all bonded with their new relics. These masks of theirs are now relics. It's one of my favorite things. That is not something that we have technically written in the Strength of 1000 Adventure Path, but something I encourage greatly because it's so much fun, because now these relics are to grow alongside them as they grow stronger. But they have them attuned, they have powers to them, and unfortunately the moment that they go to don their masks, well, let's pause there. Let's actually take a step back. They're too excited for combat. We can't go straight into it.
Oh no.
What's
Now
going on?
Maria and Star are like about to explode.
I have a question for you.
I'm fine.
Yeah, what's up?
Before we jump into this, do we get, so the rule in Pathfinder is that we get hero points if we're at 0, like you always start at 1.
Right.
Now, do we do that because we give chat the chance to give us some, or no? I forget. We had a convo about it. I forget what
We
the
have in the
resolution was.
past.
We have in
But
the
it's been a year.
past. The way I do things is if you are in the middle of combat between sessions, you're not going to get that hero point refreshed, just because, you're kind of still in that moment. However, I have no problem with, at the start of this session, you all have, at the very minimum, 1 hero point.
Okay. So I
Heck.
have 1. Nice.
Let's
Nice.
go. That's all you need to stave off death.
I will
Now-
not be saving mine for when I go down, but other people should.
How dare you?
We're going to take a second
When he goes down. That's really interesting.
to flashback to one of the moments of campus life in the Magaambya. And who are we going to focus on? If not Anchor Root.
Oh no.
Wait, she's here too. Oh God!
Pre-death flashback.
Oh my
Anchor
god.
Root was no stranger to anxiety. Mind you, I did not write this. This is a beautiful blog post from Paizo that I love so very, very much. It had been one of her closest companions since childhood. She had hoped briefly that getting away from her home and clan would ease the burden. But if anything, arriving at the Magaambya had only made things worse. Each project, assignment, or presentation was just another expectation on top of an already precarious tower of expectations she had been trying to climb since birth. All that to say, it wasn't all that surprising when an unexpected knock at her door nearly sent her jumping out of her fur. Just a minute, she called out, hurrying to tidy the books and papers in front of her. I just came to deliver a message, Essie shouted through the door. Teacher Ott says he wants to see you. Anchor Root's heart raced. Ba-bump, ba-bump, ba-bump. Did he say why? No, but he said that I should tell you that you're not in trouble, you didn't do anything wrong, you can take as long as you need, it isn't an emergency, and he's not mad at you. Well, that only made it half as nerve-wracking, at least. Oh, there was one other thing. He said to bring an instrument. Anchor Root found Takulu Ott in the courtyard, relaxing under one of the smaller trees. He sat with his eyes closed and held his imbira in his lap, lazily plucking out a scale on the metal tines. The soft metallic strumming was a familiar sound to any student who knew the man. It was a somewhat popular instrument in Ntambu, but those from farther abroad usually found it odd. Something about the way certain notes wouldn't play the way you expected, and would distract from the melody. Takulu hadn't noticed Anchor Root yet, and she briefly considered turning around and returning to her room before he did. But that would only prolong her worry in the end. Better to simply get it over with. Teacher Ott, she called over instead. His hands paused as he looked up. Ah, just the student I wanted to see, he said with an easy smile. He seemed to smile more often than he made every other facial expression put together. Did Essie deliver my message? Anchor Root reached into her bag and withdrew an ivory flute. Perfect. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why I called you out here. You see, I feel I've been remiss in my approach to teaching certain elements of arcane spellcasting. I have a passion for mathematics, and I find them to be an excellent parallel to the arcane. Each with a unique formula that can be broken down into its component parts, solved and calculated, and Takulu glanced over just in time to see Anchor Root's ears flatten and cleared his throat. Well, anyway, all of those things also apply to music, and Essie tells me that you're a talented musician. So why don't we play together for a bit? What? Essie said that about me? Anchor Root asked in shock. I mean, no, I wouldn't say I'm talented or anything. Essie's the one who's really talented. I just sort of play along from time to time, but I'm really only just... Okay, or I guess okay might be putting it too strongly. I guess I'm really just... Sorry, I'm talking too much. You're not talking too much, Takulu reassured her. And just sort of playing along is fine for now, as long as you don't mind me talking while we play. Anchor Root nodded and collapsed on the ground in a motion that some might charitably call sitting down. Takulu began plucking his imbira again, and after listening for a moment to catch the melody, Anchor Root began to play along as well. As Takulu gradually increased the tempo, she sped up to match. As he slowly shifted the melody, she moved into a complementary harmony. You know, many people find the imbira strange to listen to. They think the notes are too discordant, and they aren't entirely wrong. It's an instrument that's not meant to be played alone. It's best with accompaniment, he said. Anchor Root lowered her flute to respond. But you play alone all the time. Takulu looked over with that glint in his eye that he always got when he was nearing the heart of a lesson. Do I? I don't think I've ever heard an imbira played by itself. My grandfather built this imbira, so his hands are always next to mine when I hold it. My mother taught me how to play, so her song always harmonizes with mine. I don't know much about bone keeping, but I imagine it must be similar. You're always carrying a little history with you, in your music and your magic. When you stand on the shoulders of your ancestors, you can reach much greater heights than you do alone. The young Knoll put down her flute to consider his words. The thousands who have come before you, she muttered. Takulu nodded. With that said, why don't we try that spell from class the other day? You've got quite close the last time you tried, and I think you could do it with just a little more effort. Yes, Teacher Ott, Anchor Root said. She didn't mention that she had practiced the spell over a dozen times since she failed to conjure a simple illusion in front of her classmates. If she mentioned that, then her teacher would be expecting her to do it easily, and if she failed when he was expecting her to do it easily, that would be way worse than failing when he wasn't expecting her to succeed at all, right? So without saying anything more, she reached out a hand and created a perfect illusory copy of her familiar. The illusory chicken moved around the courtyard, pecked the ground looking for bugs, and squawked intermittently. Takulu clapped softly and said, Very well done. I couldn't have made a more believable chicken. Pulling from your own experiences is an excellent way to reinforce your illusions, but you shouldn't rely too heavily on them. So I wonder, could you try something bigger? Maybe something louder? I don't know about that. Let's give it a try. It's okay if you don't do it perfectly, Takulu said. He stood, brushed the grass and dirt from his clothes, and began walking. I'm going to go stand on the far side of the courtyard. Try and make something I can see from over there. Right. Something big. What counted as big? Everything was big to an ant knoll. The teacher Ott was a tall man, she thought. A gorilla, a giraffe, a dog, an angry dog that barks whenever you walk past it and it always catches you by surprise even though you walk that way every day and you really thought about telling its owner that he should train his dog not to bark at strangers, but he was a very angry dog and you have a chicken and... Whenever you're ready, Anchor Root, Takulu shouted from the other side of the courtyard. In a moment of panic, she clutched one of the bones on her necklace and cast the spell. Big and loud, ping and loud, she whispered. She could barely hear her own voice over the sound of her heart pounding. In a swirl of light, a stomping, trumpeting, stampeding elephant appeared between the trees, charging towards Takulu. He smiled easily as it crashed through him and disappeared. Yes, excellent, you've got it, Takulu cheered. He walked back over to the tree and knelt to pick up his instrument. I knew that you had it in you. You sell yourself you don't give yourself enough credit, but you are an amazing talent. If you just kept up with your studies, I know that you'll do amazing things. You might even get to teach your own students one of these days. Anchor Root? Huh. How did she manage to run so fast?
How nice.
Now.
It'll just be so much more terrible when she dies.
I feel personally attacked.
Or worse, expelled.
Worse, expelled. But anyways, that was then, and this is now. And now, you all stand on the stage as the auditorium walls explode inwards with the weight of several giant beetles scrambling over one another. A flood of bugs follow them, a clicking, chittering, writhing mass that flows into the auditorium and throws the crowd into chaos. In these moments, as you look around, you realize there are more insectile attackers than you could possibly hope to face on your own. But you aren't alone. Go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Let's go.
Oh no! It's happening!
Woo! You gotta pull us onto that map.
Do we have a battle map?
I do. Hold on. I forgot. Welcome to the auditorium.
It's black.
I used a hero point, and I'm really happy that I did.
Is it? Hold on. You shouldn't. Hold on.
It's just black.
Now it is not.
There we go.
Hey, hello there.
I put you on the map, and that's why it's not
Hi.
dark anymore.
Nice.
Ah, yes.
Where the fuck is perception?
Permissions.
Don't forget-
It's on my shirt. It's on my shirt. Star.
We have that merch.
Well, no,
All
where
right, so, sonowhere.com. Go to your token. Don't forget to click your token when you roll.
Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing!
Also, you may have noticed that you have a couple more handouts because I gave you some pictures of trigger warning y'all bugs, which is going to be happening a lot here.
Trigger warning, I'm gonna pull them up.
Well done, Waffles.
I don't see them.
I also don't.
No, they're not going to. Yeah, no, I'm going to give it to you. Oh, the handouts?
Yeah.
They're not. They should be in down there somewhere. They're like in the
under
handout
NPCs
section.
and creatures.
Yeah, you have like
That's like an iPhone menu choice. Gotta go down 6 before you find it.
under handouts. Handout. Yeah, just stuff that you've
Yeah.
seen before that I forgot to like share with y'all.
Oh,
That's all.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh god,
can you sound off your initiatives, please?
I will when I roll it.
15.
27.
20.
20 for Airfay, 15 for Arc. Was that a 27?
That's
hit,
not
Abby?
it.
Holy moly.
So I
Syrup
technically
gets a
rolled a
hero point.
22, but I didn't technically hit initiative, so I don't know if that counts.
I
I will
changed it
take
for
the
you.
6. Okay. All right.
Great. Okay, so
Syrup,
in this...
you got a hero point.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Who was the betrayer?
Alex.
Alex, you
Betrayer.
owe us so much right now.
Oh my god, Alex, you owe us nothing.
don't.
Except
You
you
don't.
have, okay, no, you have to pay
you
us
don't
in very
really-
good means.
Yeah,
Maria,
I was
let me
about to
be
say,
mean.
the only thing you
I
owe
don't
us
have to.
is a meme if somebody dies. There you go.
No.
So,
I want
One meme to rule them all.
I want a death meme.
in this moment, as you all roll initiative for, and honestly, the whole auditorium bursts into chaos and action and activity. A buzzing hive, if you will. But as the bugs come flowing out, you hear screams and chaos and panic as parents and family and other students that were in the auditorium and some of the teachers are all moving everywhere.
That's what I wanted,
all
Waffles.
at once. And you see, as you are all on the stage, first, Teacher Ott, who is on the stage, immediately jumps off the stage and starts running towards the crowd, getting ready to start assisting. You see Zuma, who is in the crowd already nearer to the back, stand up, whirling around. You see Karide, with a very confused look on her face at these bugs, and you see her kind of take a moment to almost analyze and look around before also jumping into action. Your fellow initiates, attendants, move forward. Some immediate, Habram jumping off the stage, absolutely like diving into things, and everybody starting to spread out. As people start to spread out, I have placed you on the stage, as that is where you have been. Before you have a moment to really get going here, you see...
Everything's dark.
Is it still dark?
It's dark
I can
for
see it.
Ark.
Why is it dark for me?
No.
Break it.
It's like you turn the lights off.
Yeah, it's weird.
There shouldn't be any...
It looks like there's fog of war is what it looks like for
There shouldn't
Ark.
be. It's like...
Well, I'm back.
Oh, there it is.
Hey!
I haven't touched anything.
Great.
I don't know what happened.
Alright, so... in front of you.
It's a,
It's so big.
it's a beetle.
Scarabs.
It's just a nice little beetle.
It's a nice little
A
beetle.
giant beetle begins to lumber towards you all, seeming to focus in on the four of you. And it's just slowly lumbering forward. However, above it, coming from the sides, you see two smaller flying insects flying forward behind, like just kind of in pace with this beetle.
Sheesh.
We start with you, Hideaki.
You muted.
We cannot hear you,
muted.
Duval.
Muted.
Muted. Big swarmy thingy. I see that it has wings. Is it not flying currently, or is
The big giant beetle is not flying. It is
okay?
just simply
It's just one giant
lumbering
beetle.
slowly forward to. Yes, it is. That beetle is humongous.
Okay. So first things first. As everyone's, the chaos and the cacophony is happening. You're late. I'll see if I can buy us some time, is what I said to everybody else. And I reach my hands out to my left and my right, and I clap them together, and I'm gonna cast Gusts of Wind. A 60-foot line of violent wind issues forth from me palms here, and in the area, I'm gonna kind of, I don't know if I think it has to be near me because I want to make sure to move to hit all three of them. So
Okay,
I'm
what is
actually
the
gonna.
spell? You want to ping it?
I
Oh, you can't. Never mind. Sorry.
yeah, I was like I can't. But I'm.
Is it like
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna-
cone?
Yeah, it's a line. So
A line.
let me see if I can. If I'm like right here, can I hit all three?
You'll be able to hit two probably in this
Okay.
way. The way they're kind of spaced out is a little bit difficult. So,
That's fine.
yeah.
I just want to hit at least the one in the big one. I mean, that looks all right. I mean, with that 25 feet.
Nah.
Up to you, though. Cool. Fortitude saves, please.
All right. What is, and this is how long is the line? Like a
60-foot line.
60-foot line. Okay, great.
So hopefully he catches somebody else around the way. I don't know. Anyway.
Hold on. Oh boy. All right. And then the other beetles do. Okay. So these small beetles, I'll roll separately for them just because. Okay, great. The one right in front of you rolled a natural 1, and critically fails. However,
Wonderful.
as you go directly at this line and hit that first beetle, the giant Goliath beetle, which is what it's called, unmoved, continues to lumber forward. That's a natural 20. And the other flash beetle that's partially protected by the other beetle. Technically you didn't get that one, did you? I was only supposed to do 2 fortitude saves. I'm sorry. So the first was actually a 23. So I rolled a natural 20 for the big guy and then a 23 for one of the beetles, but you didn't get all 3. You only got 2 of them. My bad.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then they both succeed then.
Sorry. That was a good wasted that one for me.
Boo.
So as it claps forward, and I think he is kind of phased at the fact that didn't work at all. But kicking back in, Overnose is going to from where he is. Let me just make sure. Yeah. Directly where, let me just make sure, I gotta check a quick range thing really fast. As part of Act Together, Overnose is gonna breath weapon, I believe, from there. Just make sure that I can check the range on that. What is the fucking range on that? I actually had it up, and
just as a heads up, even a success on the saving throw for the smaller beetle means it cannot move against the wind, it looks like. So even a success still technically has an effect, as it cannot do that, but does a critical success, I'm guessing, no effect.
No effect.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that
correct.
flash beetle is flying in the air, and it is like, it's now kind of like bobbing and weaving to try to get against the current, but it is not able to move towards you at this point.
Okay. Decent. And let's just verify. Okay, yeah, so it's a line. So this one's gonna go up into the large beetle's grill.
What's happening?
The breath weapon.
And is Overnose staying where they are, or are they moving?
Yeah, staying where they are.
Okay.
It's part of Act Together.
And it's gotcha. And it is a.
It should be
line.
It's a line. Mm-hmm.
It's not a cone.
Not for acid, if I recall correctly. I'll verify really quickly, Jessica. I know we've been kind of playing.
I don't want to get Aerofay right off the bat. Is all. You
no,
know, I'm just trying.
Yeah, you gotta fucking earn that, sir. Oh right, I get to choose whether it's a 60-foot line or a 30-foot cone. So it's
so you do 60-foot line. And so from Overnose, you see a shoot of acid spew forth from their mouth. And that's
a reflex save.
Okay, for the Goliath. All right. How many actions is Gust Wind, and how many actions is Overnose's breath weapon?
2.
So you moved. You share 1 action with Overnose. That's too many actions.
So it would have been then in that case I would have if I moved Act Together when I moved, then it would have breath weapon been.
Okay, so that uses up one of your other actions though. Because Overnose is using 2 actions, so you only have 1 action. You can't do the gust.
Okay.
So you have 3 actions altogether. Yeah, it's just one too many things.
No, that's fine. In that case, that's fine.
You can have Overnose basically like
get ready. I know what I'm gonna do. Because I have one action left, correct?
You have 1 action left, correct?
Yep. Okay, cool. So the connection that's between Overnosa and Hideaki seems to kind of glow and pulse, and I'm going to utilize. No, actually. I'm going to utilize. It's okay. As I extend the aura, and we see a abjuration-like shield surround Overnosa, and I'm going to use Protect Companion, which gives him a +1 to AC, and a reaction for later if it happens.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Tal.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay. Jeez. Okay. First thing Tal would do is look for their family in the crowd.
Yes. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
What if I want to
Don't worry,
just
it's not
throw
one
up
of your
for
actions.
real? What if I just want to like barf? Okay. Perception. Okay. 7.
Okay, so you are trying to scan over the back of this like lumbering beetle into the crowd to see like, okay, wait, where is your
it's chaos.
family?
Yeah.
You are scanning, and through just the sheer chaos in this current moment, you don't see them, and it sends a little bit of panic through you.
Oh,
You can't find them.
Oh yeah. Okay. So then, kind of panicking, looking around, feeling the chaos all around. They look around to the people that they are the most concerned about right now because their family's somewhere and they don't know where, but they know where these people are and we're all kind of in danger, probably. They are going to, they're gonna cast a new spell, everyone. So you see Tal not say anything to anyone, but they're looking around, they see these beetles, they look around towards you all, and then they kind of in front of them, I don't know if anybody sees it necessarily, maybe they do, but they essentially like pinch the air and pull it apart, and maybe there is a kind of shimmering line or something there. But they pull it apart and then they hook a finger around it and pull it down. And as I cast Loose Times Arrow, targeting all 5 of us, because Overnosa is within 30 feet. So all 5 of us. Pluck time stream like a bow. Pull one string back, release, and watch a creature fly. All affected creatures are quickened. You can use the extra action only to step or stride.
Right. So the way basically haste is in this case is that extra action is exactly that. But it's still very, very awesome and makes Act Together even. Let's throw more actions into the mix. Let's just go ahead and make it even more chaos. For comments and everything, I know that Act Together gets really funky, so we will definitely clarify before we move forward, and he might have been able to do that. No worries, we'll make sure moving forward. Okay.
You could just make you auto fail. I'm just kidding.
As an aside, you can mark Quicken as a condition on your character sheet in Roll20 if you have it.
Nice. Actually, this is something I want to Waffles. Fuck yeah. Well done, as always.
Here, I'll ping it in here also for people.
Fun thing, Loose Times Arrow is one of the new spells from the Dark Archives, which is why I was like, wait a second, I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, it is!
That's freaking why, and it's cool. So y'all are quickened. Great. Okay.
Listen, someone can manipulate time and fate now, so
shit.
suck on that, bugs. This, by the way, lasts until the end of my next turn, by the way. Continue.
Okay, end of your next turn. And so please, as we're gonna have like effects and stuff on us, like try to help me keep track of that for yourselves.
Yes.
And you do see that faint string, and like you hear Nim in your like ear, kind of almost pointing it out and going right there. as you eyes light up on it and you pluck it. Next up, what else?
Okay. That was one action. It's an aside.
That was one action.
Second action, I'm going to I'm going to who would I do this with? Because Arc is next to me, I know this isn't technically a touch spell, but I'm gonna reach over and just like touch your arm and cast guidance on you. And then, almost simultaneously, cast shield on myself.
Nice.
Amazing. Excellent stuff. Okay, 1 second.
Ah! We're thinking strategically.
You guys are doing good. You're doing good.
Y'all, as an aside, cast 3 spells in 1 turn. You can't get that in your other ttrpg games. Let's go.
Why are you talking shit right now?
I'm talking shit because this is great. I'm bragging on Pathfinder. Don't kill me.
Oh, you're just talking to Syrup. Okay, got it. Okay.
No. I'm talking to the world, but also Syrup, don't kill me. Because I'm a good Pathfinder player now. Listen, I learned, everyone. We're learning. It's been a year, and I can play now.
Right,
wait.
so-
That was it. Hang on.
Yes.
We leveled up, y'all. We're level 3, which means all of our cantrips are heightened. I just want to make sure
that is
everybody
correct.
knows.
Yep.
Guidance doesn't do anything. However, shield is better.
Really?
Yeah. So on a heightened, typically it has hardness 5. On a heightened, it is hardness 10. So it is double the strength.
It's a better shield.
It's a better
okay.
shield.
So next up is this giant beetle. And what it does, entirely unfazed by this gust of wind, continues to lumber forward, and it moves and moves and comes up to the closest thing in front of it. Airfay, what's up?
What's up?
Yo, what's your name is, girl?
How you do?
The giant Goliath beetle. Oh,
Why do you sound like that?
Actually.
Actually,
Okay, instead, it lumbers forward. And then, as it continues to lumber forward, it does not stop as it begins to trample you all in its path.
I hate
Now, let me make sure that I can do this. I know. Let me make sure that I can do this way. The monster strides up to double its speed and can move through spaces of creatures, in this case medium or smaller, trampling each creature whose space it enters. The monster can attempt to trample the same creature only once in a single use of trample. Great. Deals damage of the listed strike, which in this case is foot. Okay, great. Yeah, so it does not mean I can't do this, so it's just gonna go ahead and trample. Now I do wonder, can it go through all of y'all and start just trampling y'all? Is there does it have to stop?
No, it can move through all of us. It's just it can move through all of our spaces and can stride up twice, I think is what you're saying. So
Double its speed. Okay, cool. So it's gonna start lumbering for you all. Please do me the favor of giving me a basic reflex saving throw.
Everyone?
Yeah, all of y'all. Except for Overnoza.
Okay.
so we're all getting trampled on.
Yep.
Y'all, I know that I've made it in Pathfinder when I see a 24 and I'm like, I hope that succeeds.
I feel the same way about my 25.
We made it.
I got a natural 20 for a 27.
Natural 20 for 20, so a critical success
I got a
for Aerafay.
17.
Okay. 24 for Tal, which is a success. 17 for Ark is a failure.
Nice.
And Hideaki,
25.
25. That is a success. So, for those that have critically succeeded, that's you, Arafe. No damage. This creature is coming towards you, and as it goes to turn, you duck under one of its giant legs and kind of just like move, just absolutely dodge it as it stomps through you, and you're like, holy crap, as in you watch it go through. Now, Tal gets half damage, but let me make sure, do I still have to, I want to make sure I don't have to actually, deals the damage of the listed strike. But you can, okay, so I just am going to be rolling damage on this. So half damage. So Tal, you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sheesh.
Okay. Ark.
Question about the shield block reaction.
Yes.
Can I choose to use that whenever?
Yes, it's a reaction.
So like, okay, so I don't have to use it against this if I don't want to.
Well, the thing is that doesn't
But
up
it's
your
until the start of my
AC.
next turn.
It's a
It does.
DC here.
It
I don't think it
does,
does
and
anything
it
against your
also-
reflex save.
Right, but it deals less. It would take damage, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm able to use a shield block reaction, but it only lasts until the start of my next turn. Do I want to use it now? I don't know. Nah, yeah, no, yeah. Yes, I'm gonna use it. So it blocks 5, which means that I'll take 1.
Okay, perfect. And then Ark, you failed. So go ahead and take 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
I don't wanna.
And then you succeeded, Hideaki. So go ahead and take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
And just so you know, Tal,
Got
I'm
it.
pretty sure that shatters your shield, and
Yeah.
like you can't use it for the rest of the fight, basically.
Yeah, I can't cast it again for 10 minutes, so that's fine. That's fine.
So it lumbered forward, and it kind of could do twice its space. So it's just gonna go, and yeah, it's gonna stop kind of as it goes through you, and it stops there, which is actually honestly not advantageous for where I want it to be, but that's okay.
It's a
and
bug!
that is all 3 of its actions though to trample y'all. So that's the end of its turn. Arafe, you're up.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Sure.
And you can tell me if this is something that I have to do on my turn or not. Are these giant beetles the same beetles that we saw earlier with the leshies?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so for clarification, I get 4 actions because of the quicken, correct?
One of them has to
Has to
be
be a move,
striding.
It has
Yeah,
to be
one of them
moving.
has to basically be a movement. Yes.
Step
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so Arafe looking around, where are all the people right now?
Absolutely. Would
Since
you like
all
to
of her
make-
stuff can kill everyone around her.
Would you like to make a perception check for me?
Does that count as one of my actions?
No, I'll let it.
Okay.
That's why I didn't do it. I assumed I was like, fuck this.
Perception as
I will-
always. Where the fuck is it?
Everyone, every time, Duval, you just gotta point at your shirt. Be like, here it is.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's right here.
I have to
19.
wear it every fucking episode now at this point.
All right, 19. So you're scanning through now. The reason this is a perception check, and I'm going to say this just for the way we're going to do things, because there's a lot of people and a lot of moving parts. I am going to have basically every round, I'm going to give you all a little bit of tidbits as to what's happening
Okay.
on the battlefield.
we certainly will.
However,
Cool.
if you do wish to glance quickly on your actual turn for perhaps, reasons, it's going to be a perception check to kind of see, can you, in a very, very short amount of time, because I'm basically giving this to you as a free action, find and place like whoever you're searching for kind of a deal, like very, very quickly. So I want to ask, as you go through, what are you looking for in particular?
So, very specifically, I am looking to see if I shoot that direction, will I hit anyone? So from here.
From like the edge of the stage.
Yep, from the edge of the stage that way.
Got it. No, you will not.
Cool.
Is
But
that a wall?
for-
Is like this the area on the other side of the beetle? Is that a wall?
That is a wall, and behind you is a curtain. So it's kind of like a backstage like corner.
Okay.
Great. But you would go,
Great.
Arafe, up to basically the corner, like the edge of the stage. So
right there.
because you rolled a 19, which is a nice perception, I will say that you see kind of at the bottom of the stage, close to you, You see, Anchor Root
Run, my friend.
and Noxolo.
Oh, jeez! Not them.
Kind of there at the bottom of the stairs, at the bottom of the stage. Anchor Root kind of crouched down under some seats. Noxolo calmly looking around.
Someone's been like, I've been playing games like this forever. Let's go.
And not to say totally calmly. There is some like anxiety and confusion, but relatively she's like just
They're
standing
not
up and looking
freaking
around. Right, they're not freaking out. Exactly. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so 4 actions. So Arafe is going to kind of turn and go, we need to spread out, and she's going to touch Tal and catch guidance.
Whee!
And then she's going to haul butt up here.
Oh, you were guided, Arc, weren't you? Does that affect your
Did you add the
save
plus
at
1
all?
to your
Would have been an
17?
18
It
then.
depends if an 18 succeeds.
If it does, I'm gonna.
I
throw
figured
my-
it was
okay.
like.
I was gonna say if it does, I'm gonna throw everything everywhere.
It's like a DC 20 or 21 probably. In my metagame brain.
Yeah, so she will move up there, and I am also going to use one of my new spells because fun. So I'm going to cast Inner Radiance Torrent.
Oh, what? Huh?
What?
It sounds
a straight
amazing. Tell me
line.
everything.
Level 3 is great. We
A straight
love
line
big spells.
that way. So it's going to just get by Hideaki and hit all 3 because it goes a 60-foot line.
Okay.
Let me just...
And you carefully, and you hold for a second trying to wait for the flash beetles who are flying, by the way. So it's a little bit, not 100%. You wait for them to line up so you can shoot this off. Inner Radiance Torrent. Manifest your spiritual energy into your cupped hands, firing off a storm of bolts and beams that deal force damage. Holy shit.
I'm gonna Kamehameha this bitch is what I'm doing.
Yes. Please describe, what does this look like? Because this is the first time this is a new spell for Arafe.
This is a new
What's this
spell.
look-
So as she tells Tal we need to spread out and does the guidance, she then takes off towards that direction. As she's going, she's kind of pulling her hands around. You see that normal, white radiant energy that comes from her kind of come from her and focus in her cupped hands. And as she turns around, she just turns arms straight out, and you see it fire as a bunch of radiant bolts go straight towards line, hitting all 3 of these. And I need them all to make a DC 19 reflex save.
Yes.
While you're doing that, I want to call back because I literally just watched it to the tournament fight where Arafe literally said, "I'm not a damage dealer,
I can't
so I'm
do
just gonna stay out
anything."
here." And you fucking what now?
I still
And
have
Arafe-
very
Ah!
spells at level
I
1.
love it so. I love it though.
The confidence to run and up to basically the edge of the stage, that's kind of a precarious position, but she just runs and you see this light go, and as this light kind of starts growing in your hands, the light from it just casts your shadow into starker contrast as it shoots out behind you, kind of just elongating like a shadow would, not anything otherwise, but there's just very, very large contrast as you shoot through. The flash beetles with a first one has a 10, got a 10 on their reflex save.
It needs to be 10. It needs to be 10 below to be a critical failure. Correct.
Correct.
Damn it!
Correct.
1 away.
The next one gets a 15, which
Okay.
is also a failure, and then the giant Goliath beetle has a 20.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, because I can't read these in roll 20.
Sounds like a fail success.
Now,
It's
did you
fail
do this
success.
in 3 actions, 1 action, 2 action? What did you cast this as?
I did the 2 action, which does the straight line. The
straight
3
line.
is the 3 is the holding for the next turn,
Got it.
and then it would do an additional 3. So I'm just
It's
doing the
like
automatic
Arc's
fire.
Kamehameha, which is amazing.
Yes.
I can imagine that Arafe was like, what can I do? What can I pool together
yeah.
to do that like that?
Yeah, and I didn't need
and just get
120 feet, so I
sheer
didn't
light.
go the 3 action
Fair
portion.
enough. That's 4d4
Yes.
damage.
So I
go ahead
did
and
roll it in
roll
this. So it's 10 points of force damage for each.
All right, so failing gives each of these. Oh, come on.
Sorry, I think the one that succeeds takes None? Half.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
I know how rolls work in Pathfinder. Thank God for waffles.
Perfect. So
Okay, so
as you
2 of them take 10, 1 takes 5.
Perfect. So the big one takes 5 damage, and then the others, dodging away from the light. Let me double check something really, really quick, because this is light damage, correct?
Light and force.
Light and force. Okay. So you watch them kind of get hit by it and blasted off course. They're not the flash beetles. They're small, like, well, they're medium sized, but they're not looking great after that at all. At that point. And then the big giant Goliath beetle just takes it. Doesn't seem too phased by it at all.
Is it an action to talk, or is that a free throw
No,
out?
free.
Okay. So as she goes over and she casts that, she had kind of clocked where Anchorroot and Noxolo were, and she's going to turn and go, Anchorroot, could you help us get people out, please? I think you'd be very good at helping them and keeping them calm. And then she's going to focus back. Give her the excuse to leave.
And is that the end of your turn?
That's it.
All right, Arc 2, you're up.
Okay. Ark will pull out his book as one action. Since
Yep.
we were up here with our dumb mask and I don't have anything pulled out and ready. So that's one action. He will pull out the book. He will kind of yell out, like, spread out to everyone, referencing to the large beetle that can run over everybody. And then he will, his right hand, the book's in his left hand, his right hand begins to kind of charge with electricity, and he points it at the little flash beetles, and he's gonna bounce electric arc from one to another, so that I need reflex
my
saving
God, yes.
throws.
Hit him.
Yes. I feel like this is like one of the first times electric arc has actually been like an actual arc with things like far apart as opposed to like right
Yes.
next to each other.
Absolutely. So that is a reflex save, right?
Yeah.
27 and 24.
They both succeed. They both take 4 damage.
Okay. Well, the thing is they were just hit with a bunch of force damage, and before they can... You see them... These are called flash beetles for a reason, okay?
Oh,
And
hey.
they go to, like, release their... You can tell that they're about to basically release a brilliant flash of light that would have, you know, potentially dazzled all of you and caused some effects and issues. But as that light begins to glow underside of both of them, the electricity kind of shoots through them, and it does this, like, sort of like... And it just absolutely, like, closes out, and they fall to the ground, both of them, dead.
Oh,
Boom.
They were
Nice.
tiny little guys.
And then
okay.
with his
Well,
last
I'm
action,
slightly less nervous.
he will raise the book as a shield.
Okay, perfect.
Lulling us into a false sense of security, I see.
You do also have an action to move if you want to.
True.
Uh,
Yeah,
with the
but
quicken.
you're hasted.
I cheated then. I can't raise my book as a shield.
Okay.
I pulled it out. For some reason, I was like, I'm
Right.
hasted. I can use that to pull my book out.
right.
I will instead not raise as a shield, but step up.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, sorry. I'll step up here. I want to spread us out as much as I can.
Okay, so you kind of start moving. You bypass Hideaki and try to get to the other side of the giant Goliath beetle. Now, from behind the curtains, behind stage, you hear some movement as
But I
A
do
giant
one
centipede.
thing quick.
Oh, these fucking centipedes!
go ahead. What's up?
I just realized I can do something that I have not done before, and I kind of want to do that. What is the level of the flash beetles? What level creature are they?
Ooh, they are a -1.
I see.
Ooh. I want to do it anyway because it'll be fun. So as Ark kills one of those, you see Arafe's shadow kind of pop up around her as I'm going to use Death's Call. to gain temporary hit points from the death of those creatures.
Okay, that's a reaction?
It is a reaction.
Okay. And do you have to deal the killing blow or anything like that, or just have to die in
It
front of
just
you?
says seeing another creature pass from this world. So it doesn't say I have to do it.
Just imagine when one of
okay.
us dies. It's fine.
I mean,
this is
granted,
just
each
actually-
creature's level +4, so I gain 3, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Okay, that does track. But you gain 3 twice, right? You gain 6 from each of them, or
I think I can only grab it from one.
What's
Okay.
the target on the spell? Does it say just
A
one?
living creature within
Yeah.
20 feet of you dies. So yeah.
Okay. So here's what happens, though. This is actually important, because as this ball of light that shoots from you, it shoots through these, and Arc finishes them off with a little bit of jolt of electricity that jumps between them. Your shadow, which stretched out behind you, suddenly swoops around in front of you and just reaches forward, and almost with like one hand coming above the stage, like no longer like a flat shadow, reaching up, passes through this creature and pulls it into them and draws back into you. Now, I will remember this for later.
Your GM will remember this.
Yeah, we'll remember this. And then, let me just double check.
What up, Centipede? How are you?
Great.
How you
So,
doing? Listen, I'm out here. Don't worry about it.
as another one scuttles out from behind the curtain as well.
Oh, fuck,
Coming to the
Uh-oh.
closest thing next to them, which is Overneza in this case. Tactics of the book says they do go.
Technically, I'm also there.
They do go for those that hang in the back because they are punks like that, you know.
Yeah, they are.
God.
Fucking bugs.
The one to Overnoza's right goes and snaps at Overnoza with a 13 to hit.
Misses.
Flanking, so that is -2 to Overnoza's AC. I think it still misses.
Still misses.
Great. And then the other one, looking forward, it looks at Tal versus Overnoza for a second, but sees the flanking opportunity.
Dragon cat.
It's like,
Dragon cat.
and we'll go ahead and try it again. For a natural 20.
Whoopsies.
However, these are not the strongest of centipedes, as you've actually seen some giant centipedes recently, relatively. And why doesn't Overnoza make me a perception check real quick?
Okay. 18.
18. So just from like having been near the other centipedes from the Sprout House, these look like, listen, it's not like you could really tell, but they don't seem as like energetic as like the other ones, or there's like maybe just not as healthy. Like they look not 100%. Just, I don't know, been through some shit. But still, with the critical hit, they actually, Overnoza takes 2 damage with a critical hit.
All right.
However, I do need a fortitude saving throw.
There it is. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah. They might not be as strong, but they still carry poison.
21.
Yay! 21 saves. And so, ready and expecting this venom, Overnoza tries to just pull away and make sure that there's not too much that gets injected in him. Perfect. Okay. Now it swings around, though. This one just moved in. Well, they came out. I'll take that. This one will swing around and make a strike at you, Tal.
Yay!
For a 25.
Believe it or not, that's gonna hit me.
What's your AC?
18, so it's not a crit hit.
Great. So you take 1 piercing damage.
All right.
As it snaps at you, and you look like maybe like it's like one of the mandibles is like broken and is not like doing as much damage for it, or not quite sure why. But still, nonetheless, it's gonna try to get you with that venom. So can you do a saving throw for me?
Poor bug.
It's fortitude, right?
Yep.
And that I get a +1 on this because of guidance. Yeah.
Sure.
16.
Great. You save.
Nice. Nice.
And that was a move. That was 2 attacks, and then the other one's gonna take 1 more on over Noza. Nope, not going to hit, and it tries to snap and kind of just glances off some of the scales, not able to do so. Now it is the top of the round. So we're gonna take a look at what's going on in this auditorium. As you all are fighting, glancing around, throughout this time, you've managed to catch a couple glimpses at just flashes of movement here and there. Strands of glowing dawn. Siniwe, let me jump to the right things here. Absolutely runs off the stage and jumps down towards her children. As she
Get
does
your kids,
so,
mama.
Good.
Fair.
Them kids.
2 things happen. 1, you see her shift forms,
Hey!
not into her full spider form, but into a form you have never seen before. Her natural Anadi self.
Yes.
Now, I do not have a picture of specifically strands
Damn
of
it!
glowing dawn. However, they're pretty cool looking, and I would be remiss to not at the very least show you what one looks like. So please take a look at this handout that I'm sharing with you now.
They're cool.
They're fucking gorgeous.
They're so cool.
They-
They're
Oh my
super cool.
god.
Are
Look at that, look at that,
very,
look at that,
very,
look at that.
very interesting with like fine hairs all over them and multicolored, with a spider-like face and long, spindly limbs. However,
Avatar
they-
could never, by the
Yeah,
way.
Avatar.
Could
Absolutely
never.
They
Could never.
do this is the form that, from just having talked to strands of glowing dawn in the past, like this is the form that unsettles people the most. This is the form that they very rarely ever show in like areas of other people. As she does, you watch, like almost it's hard to see, but there's a sort of shimmering as she reaches out and casts Friend Fetch, a spell that she has invented for many uses. However, one that really is to wrangle her children as she shoots
Get
out
those
2
children in line.
telekinetic strands that wrap around her children and pull them towards her. As she pulls
That
them
is so
to,
cool.
grabs them and starts moving with some of the other Anadi that were around. Additionally, you glance and you see Essie.
Hell yeah.
Essie is back to back
There she is.
with her mother.
Hell yes, let's go.
Avengers
Back to back with
assemble.
her mother, and you watch as a glance, and this is whether you see this, you can tell me if something is important to you, we can make sure your character catches it, but also the audience is kind of seeing this for a bird's eye view as Essie takes a moment as she stands in a sort of readied stance, and you see her kind of just focus for a moment, and she casts one of the spells that she has made, which is called Impeccable Flow. And as she does, she kind of takes a moment of meditation as her eyes open and alight, and you watch with perfect synced movements as she goes from one to another, as she basically has a just both her and her mother basically back to back and just going around, and whatever bugs are near them, absolutely like just going attacking and just in a beautiful flow of movements, just going after one or the other. And they seem to just be barely communicating, yet circling around each other, assisting each other back to back. We see Teacher Ott running down deeper to the main area where he's able to assist those that are trying to get down from the balconied areas of the auditorium. As those are running down the stairs, you see him throw hands out as he casts glitter dust, distracting and blinding some of the and dazzling some of the bugs that are kind of around them, taking a moment to keep them at bay and ushering individuals to safety. That is his main focus. We see, let's see. You see a flash of movement as Habram is booking it up the stairs, up to the top of the balconies on the right-hand side. And we see Mafika Ayuari in badass martial art form, he's swinging his staff, cracking it on an insect's carapace. You see it kind of like you hear the resounding crack echo through the auditorium as it kind of collapses down. They're making some progress. Things are moving. Anchor Root is cowering in there. Noxolo is looking around, confused and interested, and like a little just like, what? This is odd. You see her look down, especially after you call out Arafe to her, and you see Noxolo look down and just reach her hand out, like kind of like arm down to Anchor Root and says, "We can get out of here. Come on." And just pulls her arm up, pulls it up, and then turns around. And as a bug comes lumbering forward with a shriek from Anchor Root, Noxolo's hand reaches out. Dark, necrotic energy pooling at her fingertips as she touches the carapace of this beetle, casting chill touch and watching some of its life wither away.
Yes. That spell.
That's enough
I
for this
recognize
round.
that spell. I recognize that spell.
Hideaki, it's your turn.
God, oh my god.
Also, did anybody else have this image of the Anati, since they all look like dancing spiders at a rave?
Yes.
Now I do. Dang it.
There's a really cute picture of a little Anati holding up a little scarf, a silk scarf that they made, doing like that little movement. It's so cute. I'll find it.
Anyway, I've interjected. I'm done.
all good. So we're gonna utilize thanks to Tal's quickening. We're both gonna move because we mentioned Overdose has an extra move as well, right? Extra stride, I should say. Is that
How
right?
does that work? Oh God. Why summoners?
Technically, I think.
You share turn order. You share your action pool.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have, as a shared action pool, one extra action, which is stride or step.
Okay, cool. Never mind.
It is.
Man, I'm having a bad time.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Summoners are difficult, y'all. They really are.
They don't get easier the higher level you get.
Nope. No, boy, I've been doing my research.
I will say you can definitely use that
gonna
action to act together with it.
We are.
Yeah.
So Overnose is gonna move here right next to Tal, and Hideaki's going to back up to about, I think right here. Hold on, let me check some distance really fast.
Sure, that's fine.
Yep. Okay, cool. And so yeah. So and then
just because this is super shitty, because you acted together with the hasted stride or strike, just take that as like the one that it is anyways. And it's the bonus. It's that extra action. So you now have 3 actions left.
Great. And at the same time, even though it's not with Act Together, but ish, you get the idea.
Yeah. All in like less than 6 seconds.
So you hear so Tal, you hear like this like squelching noise from next to you as Overdose is going to breath weapon both of these motherfuckers.
Fuck yeah.
So it's another reflex save for these 2 dudes.
That's gonna be great for them.
Not a squelching noise.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll make it better for you. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, that's way
The
better than
one-
a squelching noise.
The
Right.
squelching noise was like the cat hairball, like ah.
No!
The one directly in front of Overnosa gets absolutely coated with a natural 1, returning as it should. And now the other one having some cover from the other. I'm not actually like giving him cover or anything like that, but they did roll a 24.
Yeah, 24 succeeds, so he'll take half. The first one takes 7. The other one takes 3 points of acid damage.
Perfect.
The first one takes 14.
Yeah, because
Because of the crit. Because of critically failed.
Correct,
fail.
crit fail. That first one, you see the acid like melt through its carapace, as it kind of withers down to the ground, dead.
I'm so nervous,
Nice.
y'all. I was nervous for a different reason, and now I'm very nervous for a very like
How much does the other
separate
one
reason.
get?
3.
3.
What's that?
'Kay.
3. And you hear Overdoza hears this from Hideaki. This is a fucking distraction, isn't it? And he points a finger at the big beetle and uses his last action to magic missile.
That's amazing. All right, so that's a one action.
Guys. Oh no.
That's a one action.
Yes, it is. Because I can
Okay.
use up to what? I can use 1, I can use 2, I can use 3. So that's gonna be
That's an insta hit.
Yeah. Yep. That's gonna be 4 points of force damage.
Perfect. So you see that instantly just kind of pummel in to its hard carapace. Excellent. Tal, you're
Real quick,
done right here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Right? Not quite. So after he says that to Overnosa, he's looking around, and just he's not. He probably should be looking for his folks. He's looking for something else.
Okay. Make a perception check.
I'm gonna use a hero point because I rolled a 1. Not much better. 16.
So you're looking around. You're trying to look past the bugs. You're trying to look and say, what else is here? Where are these coming from? So you glance around and you see the broken walls where there seems to be like burrowed holes into the walls, where these bugs are spilling out from. And you're trying to looking around, and there's so many bugs just swarming every area of this auditorium. You don't see anything else, but you are suspicious. You are on edge, and you are looking. Okay.
Yep.
Taliatia.
Okay. Guidance on arc drops at the start of my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So does time thing, I think.
No, that is at the end of my turn, which is
Oh,
great
okay.
because that means that I can also use it, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
I didn't move last time, and that sucks. Okay. We are going to. Okay, we're going to move.
Going to move.
We're going to move.
Where are we going to move?
Oh shit! It's 2 actions. That's fine. 2 actions, fine, because I have an extra. It's fine because okay. Question about movement. Can I split it up even though it's 1 action? Can I split up my movement? Can I like do part of a movement, do an action, and then do the rest of my movement?
With another action. I know, it sucks.
That's icky. I don't like that.
But if you want to flavor the spell going off mid-movement.
No, because it's a melee sort of thing. Okay.
Okay.
I have to stay true to Tal. Tal is not concerned now about this big beetle. Tal is concerned about their family. So they are going to run
can't find them. You don't know where they are right now, right?
Yeah,
You
I know.
wanna make a perception check for me?
Yeah. Well, I know for sure I'm running to the edge of the stage.
Okay.
But yes, I would like to make a perception check to see which edge of the stage I'm
Do
running
it.
to. And whether I am running fast or not. Crack!
Crack!
I'm gonna use a hero point.
They're burning through their hero points already, y'all.
Damn it! I went from an 11 to a 12.
I got one left.
I also have one left, so.
Me too.
Well, okay.
So, you are running to the edge of the stage?
Yeah, I think,
I'm gonna give you an answer for the perception check, so just tell me where you are.
So,
when
okay,
you are.
I would have known where they were.
Right.
So where were they? I would head in that direction.
Okay, they were...
Because I don't have any other context. They were
kind
straight,
of like...
okay.
Yeah, just
Okay.
in one of the seats down here.
Okay.
What, Waffles, did you have something to say?
I was just gonna ask a question. So you're wanting to like move, spell, and then move again?
Yes, so
You-
use
you do
part
have a
of my...
free
Essentially... I know. That's what I'm saying. There are two things that I wanted to do. So I wanted to do 5 feet of movement to get within melee, do a melee attack, and then use the other 20 feet of movement to move elsewhere.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was
Yeah, you could
wanting
use
to
your
do.
stride, your bonus hasted stride for that, if you wanted to. And then you still have 2 actions left. 1 action left after that. So you could step forward, 1 action, do your melee attack, 1 action, use your hasted one, move the rest of the way.
See, it's a spell though, which is 2 actions. This is why.
Got it.
This is the.
Got it.
that's-
You could-
that's-
So you could do all of that and then be
And
done.
then be done.
Step for free, do a 2 action spell, and then use your 3rd action to move to the stage.
See, how to- we
If
need
that's
more
not what you
actions.
want to do, that's
What's it
fine.
gonna
I
be?
just wanted to make
No,
sure.
no,
you
like
knew.
I 100%. Yeah.
Tell me what's happening.
Here's what I'll do then. Okay, so I look to where my I'm going to use my free movement to move up to where I am now. This is changing everything because I can't see my family.
They were generally in this direction before, and you just
Yeah.
at a quick glance before. Don't think like you're not. No one's standing around like squinting, staring, and
Oh,
finding,
yeah.
right? At a quick glance,
Yeah.
you didn't quite see them, but you know they were over there.
Yeah. Okay. But I do see teachers in that area, and I'm like, okay, all right, we're not here alone. Okay, all right. So I'm going to cast as I move into melee range, gouging claw.
Holy
Um,
Y'all and your new spells. Delicious.
This is actually one that I've had for a while.
Yeah.
This is one that I got with my wizard spell book. So it morphs my limb into a claw appendage. It's already a claw appendage, so my claws will
It
just get
sharpens
bigger.
them, and yeah, they're
Yes.
they're
So I have to make
wild.
a melee spell a roll,
make
which
a
I
spell
did,
attack roll.
and it was 12 if that's right.
I think
That
it
doesn't
is.
seem.
So-
that doesn't.
You
I
have a,
think
you have a
it-
plus
yeah, it
8 and you
is.
rolled a 4 on the die.
Yep.
Damn,
Well, which does not hit.
that stinks. But it's a cantrip, so it's fine.
Do you have
And
a hero
then
point? You want to reroll that attack roll?
I do, but I'm not going to use it now.
Also, as a reminder, Taliatu, you do have a little spool of golden thread.
Oh, trust me, I know. I've been reading all of the things that I have and might have. As their 3rd action, jeez. If I wanted to toss something to Ark, because Hideaki moved fucking far away,
Ollie.
would I need to use an action for that?
It's technically an interact action.
Sure,
what
sure.
what are you trying to do? What are you trying to throw to him?
So you remember, like, a session or maybe 2 ago, I made a little satchel of stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to toss that towards Ark
Uh-huh.
and just yell and say, catch!
for flavor here, because it's go for it. I'll let you. Why
Okay.
not?
If it takes an action, that's fine. If not, I was going to do something else as another
Okay.
action.
It would not technically be free.
Okay.
But you
that's
could
fine.
it's an interaction action usually to pull something from a bag or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Then yeah, that's my third action is to toss that to Ark.
Okay. So you
And
stepped,
it's just like a
you
little
did a
canvas
2
bag.
action, and then you third. Okay, perfect. Great. Is that the end of your turn?
That is all I got.
Okay. Now it's the giant Goliath beetle who turns around after having that lovely trample, and looks at you all kind of like lined up and wonders, do I want to trample again?
Yeah,
We
and it-
spread out, but in
It's
a
not-
bad way. But in like a bad way.
Great way for them. Great way for them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can do that. Now it does have double its speed, so it can kind of do this sort of like, let's do one and then pivot and then get right to here. I'm assuming it can't end its turn though. Yeah, okay, so that's what it's going to do. I'm going to say it can't end its turn on top of a creature. It's just going to be able to go through whatever space it enters. So it does, and it sort of like clips you, Tal, turns, goes to Ark, passes through Hideaki, and ends right before Arafe. It was this close, but it basically gets both of y'all and
Fucking
puts itself
bowling alley
right
at this point.
between.
bing bong.
Yes, absolutely. So
Couldn't pick up the split.
um
That might be
Go
my favorite
ahead.
waffleism of all campaign, actually. I think. That was
in
supremely
which
clever.
case what we're going to do is make some very quick reflex saves for me, please.
They're
to
only
all
if they're
those
quick.
that did get
Only if they're
trampled.
super quick.
Only if they're the quickest quick.
Like the quickest. God, reflex. I suck at.
16 for Tal,
21.
Nice.
21
Ark
for
and I
Ark,
just swapped numbers basically
Yes.
from the last time.
14 for Hiyaki.
14 for Hideaki. Okay,
Because he was
so
distracted.
none of these are critical fails. You're okay. However, the only one who succeeds is Ark.
Yep.
So, on a success, what?
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna use my
Uh-oh for
hero
you?
point.
Yes, do it.
Hey! Yeah. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. So for those that failed, please take 11 bludgeoning damage, and for those that one Arc that saved, please take 5 bludgeoning damage.
Jeez.
Good thing I took
11?
toughness.
11 bludgeoning. Now tell me, how's everybody looking?
I'm almost at half.
I don't want to talk to you. I'm about 60%.
60%.
And-
Rolling an
and
arc, I
very
haven't
angry.
taken any damage, and I actually
Good.
have
You're
hit
of
points.
all of us, like you should be the one to not
Good,
take
great,
damage
good,
right now.
great.
Let's be
Good.
We did it
real.
on
Let's be
purpose.
real.
We did it on purpose.
Oh, I messed up because I did forget one thing.
Oh, sure.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Arc, how you looking?
Okay.
I'm probably about 60%.
60%. Okay. I did forget one really important thing. I said the GM Badass will remember this, and spoiler, she did not.
That's cool.
One thing that happened at the top of the round that
Top
we
of the round.
forgot to mention.
Okay.
Airfay,
Mm.
you're at the edge of the stage,
Yep.
Mm.
and your shadow moved and grabbed at this creature's soul, at something.
Huh?
You heard from the crowd this distraught, choked sound as you look over and you see Infar stumbling backwards, and not from any of the bugs that are around, but rather you.
Fuck yes! Fuck you! Fuck him!
And it looks like he all color has drained from his face, though, you know, not hard given the certain
Very
surroundings,
cool.
but he saw that and he seemed to just have this sort of like and you see him turn and like grab like whatever person is in front of him, just some other individual, and just kind of like shove them to the side, making them stumble as he tries to run as shamble as an old man would, shuffling out, trying to do it and not really caring who's in his way.
What
He's
a
trying to run out of
selfish
here.
old man. Jeez.
There are a few words that
was like,
Yafira
"Hideaki."
has said to her that starts going through her head at that point.
Damn.
That was rather important, and I forgot. But
I
that's
wondered
Oh, no,
what
that's-
Infar's reaction was going to be to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Perfect.
I
That's
made
well
a
timed,
mental
actually.
note. That's okay. However,
Woo!
I will say at that.
I love you so much, Maria.
I've got so
And-
much energy right now.
So the giant Goliath beetle tramples some more, leaving damage in its wake as it spins around, its wings kind of fluttering and its carapace clicking and clacking in agitation, as it just seems to keep focused on you. 4/5 with Overnoza, and Arafe, it's going to be your turn when we return from break.
Oh god!
Because I have a question for you.
Wow, that flew by. Where the fuck did the time go?
I know, it's so much. Two-part combat indeed, because we have a lot to get through. But don't worry, we're going to speed things up and we're going to have some good fun. So,
Woo! 6-part combat, let's go.
catch you all. in
Of our
just a little
combat, let's
bit.
go.
Refresh your drinks.
Pee!
Settle
Everyone
down.
pee, please, for me.
I just-
We're going to have some fun when we get back. Catch you in just a little bit.
Yo, let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. Did you miss us? So we're back today in a nice zen auditorium.
Lies,
Oh,
lies,
no,
lies,
just
lies,
kidding.
lies.
Everything is chaos. All right. So last we left off, a giant Goliath beetle tramples 3 of our lovely, wonderful, kind attendants, and stopped short of Arafe, who in time turned to see one Infar. Kind of freaking out. I don't know what his deal is. But anyways, back to the action. Arafe,
You a
it is
sports commentator
going to-
now?
Anyways, back to the
But
action.
anyways,
Back to you, Jimbo.
Not taboo news.
So getting back into it, Arafe is this beetle has just stopped right in front of her, and she can see because we were talking about me being in Syrup's DMs. I'll bring this up here. She sees her friends are hurting, and she's trying to decide who to lifelink, and she sees Infar freak out, and she realizes, I can't let him see what I can do, or he'll make me go home.
Oh my god!
Or he'll make you go home?
He'll make me go home. That's her thought, is he'll make me go home. So
As that crosses through your mind.
yes.
Holy, we're gonna die. We're gonna die. We're all gonna die.
You think if not heal, I can't do it. I don't want him to see. What do you do?
In my head, and my GM can correct me if I'm wrong. I kind of feel like as she says that I can't heal, he'll make me go home. She hears, then do the opposite. So as you look at Arafe, her demeanor changes a little bit as you see her like shadow kind of rolling around her a little bit. And she looks at the bug and goes, thank you for coming closer. And I'm going to cast Tanglefoot on it to lock it down.
Okay, what do I have to do for that?
It is a tech roll on my side. Of course, we went to break and I moved everything, and now I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm
It's my fault. Just blame me. It's all me.
No, it's my fault. Attack roll. So, and it's a primal, so it's a different attack roll. So this is my druid stuff. 19 plus 6.
It's not like a. Is it a ranged attack or is it a? Melee?
It says 30 feet.
Oh, then that's
Okay.
range. That's up to 30 feet. Yeah.
Up to 30 feet.
Is there? I
Yeah.
forget other penalties for doing that in melee. Waffles.
I think
My-
so.
Is
Okay.
there?
Go ahead and just roll for now.
There
It's fine.
are, because I just listened to an episode where Waffles explained how there is range, if there's a ranged attack.
For
that
now,
there is
go ahead and
penalties.
roll. If you want to.
Okay. I mean, I'm still gonna.
If there's penalties, it's probably like a minus like 2 or something like that. So
I would -2 is very safe.
Okay. Well, I guess then if we go with the -2, 19 plus 6 minus 2, 23 then to hit?
yeah. Let's. Waffles, did you manage to pull it up, or if not, we'll just make the call. It's fine. It's not a huge deal.
I'm still looking for it, but a -2 is very, very safe. That's what I would say.
Okay.
It probably is.
Cool.
Okay.
So that still hits as you just kind of slam. And this is also a large creature, and you're throwing something on the ground basically. So you go ahead and do that.
Okay, and it's just a regular success, correct?
Correct. It is a regular
Okay.
success.
Then it takes a 10-foot circumstance penalty to its speed for one round.
I like it.
Excellent.
I was trying to immobilize it, but whatever. And then as she does that, you see these vines come up, start wrapping around it so it can't move as much. And then she just puts her hand on it. And you hear a duality in her voice as she casts heal. Or not heal, excuse me, harm.
The other one. The other one.
The other
And
way.
as you hear like the twinning of two voices emerge from Arafe as she casts the verbal components to harm.
I'm so glad I'm right next to
odd
this.
and resonating, and yet it happens. Go ahead, cast the spell.
Natural 20.
Yes, I love the dice. I
For
love
a 29 to hit.
Holy shit.
to hit. Here's the deal, though. Something we did not take into account. You're flanking,
Yep.
Oh.
Holy shit.
which
Flat
makes it a -2 AC. Now, it's a natural 20 anyways, but that also would have been a critical hit. Anyways, but go ahead. That's a critical hit. So what happens?
Harm it.
I was gonna say, is it just a doubling of the dice then?
Is this a basic?
There's no save. It's an attack roll.
Yeah, it's
Can you
double. It's
ping-
double damage.
Okay.
Ping it?
Can I what?
It will do it for
Ping-
you. Yeah, you double.
Ping it in
yeah,
the
it's fine,
chat.
just double. Critical damage is always just double, so it's fine.
That will be 14 points of necrotic damage.
Oh yeah.
Is that already doubled?
That's doubled. Yeah.
Okay. So this harm courses through it as trying to dodge out of your way. It gets tripped up by these vines that are underfoot, and it's kind of like buzzing and irritated, and it's not even paying attention as you go and you just place your hand flat on it, and the harm in its entirety pulses through its body, and you watch this sort of like necrotic energy wash over it and go through it, and as it like it's a wave from the where you touch crossing its entire giant body, and behind it leaves its shell cracked and dried and just a little less life in it, as you basically knocked it down to half health in one go, which is amazing. Well, is there anything else you would like to do?
I think at that moment she's also just going to turn and look at Infar again. Just leave her hand on this beetle.
You watch as he kind of like looking like he's kind of trying to like stumble and run. He's an old man for what it is, and you watch him just as he's like kind of eyes like locked on this scene, trying to back like turn and run, but also kind of like looking back, like, you know, trying to just keep tabs. You watch him absolutely trip and fall on his ass at that last little thing, and he's just starting to scramble backwards. Unfortunately, he has made it about to where Teacher Ott is, who's rushing forward to help him up and escort him out.
Of course.
Good, get him out of here.
He's an old man. Get him out of
Get
here.
him out of
Yeah,
here so
yeah.
RFA can heal.
Do the thing.
Absolutely. All right. Arc 2
can I say,
is your... Yes, yes.
Seeing this, and like seeing the bug like recoil in pain, you just hear it next to you. Someone's found their voice.
Haha. Teehee.
Hashtag callbacks.
Faye, you hear like the quietest, faintest like chuckle at the comment.
Hideaki
It does
does?
not get to you, Hideaki. Nope, Arafe does.
Damn
Hideaki
it.
does not.
Oh shit! I was about to fucking pee my pants. What was you? Okay.
Arc 2, your turn.
Yeah. Did the Tanglefoot work on this creature?
It did.
Okay. That's what Ark was gonna do. So Ark is going to just kind of yell out.
Same hat.
I can't do much.
You might do
damage.
better at it than me.
Ark's just gonna yell out. I can't do much in this fight. So please focus on it. And he is going to just move up, enter his arcane cascade stance, and then raise his book.
Okay. Amazing. Flash Beetle's turn. Oh wait, they're dead. Giant centipedes. Wait, there's just one. And that centipede, looking around, seeing all of these others, is going to go to see where, well, you know, at the very least, it can get some of these stragglers over here. So it's going to
I'm straggling.
go around. Who ended the previous centipede? That was over Noza, correct?
I was over Noza. Yeah, with
Yeah.
the rock weapon.
Okay.
Sure was.
Does a 15 hit over Noza?
Nope.
Okay. Spinning around, being like, the armor's too hard. Goes to tell. Oh, this is actually at a -5 technically, so that is. Unless is it finesse? It is finesse -4. It is 13. Does a 13 hit?
Hell no.
Okay. Well,
It's pseudo
geez,
beefy.
It's trying its best. Okay.
No,
and
we
it's gonna
did
make
centipedes
one-
already. It's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna make one last desperate attempt. Oh wait, no, it moved. Just kidding, it can't. Great.
Take that, bug.
That is its really impactful turn.
The shoe's on the other foot now.
The foot is off
However-
of my.
Well, how many like shoes does the centipede? Okay, anyway. So it is the time of the top of the round. So we get a
What do we
nice
see? What do we
little
see?
bird's
What do we
eye
see?
view. And
Please!
what else is happening here?
Why are you
So-
people still here?
6 seconds.
Yes,
Can I
please.
interrupt and throw a little flavor for Ark out there?
Of course,
Please.
I love flavor.
He, I don't know if anyone would notice this, obviously, but he's very specifically not looking around, because he trusts Iska and doesn't overly care about anyone else down there. So he's not making these punches.
Not
He's more
even
worried about the
Edgar
people.
Root arc.
Nah, Edgar Root can take care of themselves, and if they can't, then oh well, that deserved.
That's
Oh
their
god. Oh god.
Okay. So we start with both Mariama and Shazira, who you see after some flying things get out of your way. You see them at the edge here, and they are seeming to be concentrated on the bugs. This area having already been cleared out of family and civilians. And you see Mariama. There is one of these kind of just a flying larger insect of some kind is flying towards Mariama, and you see her kind of like glancing, having just like kind of done something, interacted with Shazir, turns around, sees it, and is like, and reaches her hand out. And this is something special to Mariama, which has to do with witch things. Uses Stumbling Curse, causing it to it trips over something, and you're like, it's flying. What did it trip over? Yet it tripped over something as it stumbles and kind of falls over to the side, spinning away to the left instead of coming directly at her. And Shazira next to her looks around and uses his own invention, Verminous Lure, as he... I don't have shit, hold on.
Ah!
One description I missed. This one does... Okay, oh yeah, okay, so this one, it kind of takes this dust, or this kind of almost alchemical mix, but you can tell the way he acts, the way he mutters something under his breath, that there is kind of magic entwined with it as he spreads it out and kind of throws it on the stumbling bug that Mariama pushed off to the side. And you see a couple of the surrounding insects lift their head, some that have that can seem to smell, look over to it and start kind of going towards the bee, or the insect that was flying instead, seeming to be whatever he did on it started to attract the other bugs around it away from the civilians and towards the other insect. It's kind of confusing their senses, doing something odd to them. And you see from Shazir's movement that he's in the action. He's there. He's standing next to Mariama. He's efficient. He's doing, he's acting. He's there and he's present. And this is one of those times that you recognize that, yeah, most of the time he's bored, but he's good at what he does, or he wouldn't be here. Next we see, in this far corner, Iska. Iska, standing there with a glaive in her hand, a long pole arm with a hooked blade on the edge. And you're like, I saw a staff before, but there was definitely not a glaive before. And yet there is one. And she is there, and you watch, and some of you catch this from where you are on stage as well. There is a beauty to her movements, as they are quick, efficient, and flawless. As she spins and moves, and she hooks the carapace of one bug with the edge of the glaive and simply spins it into another, forcing its movement into the next, using this pole arm with such beauty and finesse, and not a second thought on her face. Her face is emotionless, calculating, looking around, and just clearing her path as she starts to move her way and getting the bugs out of her direction so she can kind of go towards one of the exits. But it is interesting. And as she goes and steps to the end to kind of round the corner, there is a bug that is kind of right on the other side of Tekuluat that, having not been distracted by the glitter dust from Takulu, turns and almost actually for the first time takes her by a little bit of surprise. And you watch it gouge through her arm as she looks down at her arm. You see a motion of her hand, and perhaps some of the more perceptive might have seen a small glow from under her shirt as the wound starts to close, and she takes her glaive and slices through the insect in front of her, unfazed. We see to the left, up here, closest to the exit, and yet also perhaps because of their late entrance, Mama Yaki and Daddy Yaki.
Hell yeah!
Their entrance blocked by a looming bee that seems to be coming in, a giant bee coming and flying towards them. However, stepping forward.
Fucking, where's my fucking X card?
Oh yes! Oh my god, yes!
We see
The biggest
we
screen
see-
check for me.
I have to interrupt you and tell you this. I literally was about to start my turn asking where he was as a fan service to you guys, so suck it.
And it's interesting with Ignacy. We see a moment here because before our eyes catch Hideaki's parents, we see Ignacy looking around, and there's a moment of like confusion on his face as he clocks the bee coming forward, and he looks down and he doesn't see something. But then he kind of just looks to the left, and you blink, and there's a book in his hand, and it was not there before. It is his book.
Yes. Fuck yes.
The book showing up suddenly in his hand, he looks at it and he looks at the bee. And with a swift motion, a hidden dagger in his boot comes up and flies at the bee. And with a precision and a sort of, magical touch that gets it right between the eyes. And it comes falling down. Mafika turns around at the sound with his staff at the ready, sees Ignacy having already taken care of it, gives him a nod, and moves forward with just swift martial art motion towards, the next one in sight. Zuma is over here in this other corner, furiously casting spells left and right, absolutely like just flying in this almost like the amount of just like color of the spells that are emanating from Zuma right now are just wild in its ferocity and in its quickness and its just immediacy, and then there's just like dazzles of color and flame and shoots all kinds as Zuma masterfully is just trying to affect as many as he can in the area around in that kind of corner. What else do we have? Oh yes, we have up here a family of catfolk huddled together.
Must protect.
You see Tal's mother and Tal's father and Tal's brother hugged closely together as grandmother Olu stands in front of them.
Oh yeah.
And with a hands spread wide in front of her.
I got the magic. She's magic. I forgot she's magic, y'all. Damn it! She's fine.
Oh shit, I forgot the hold on.
Can't believe I was worried about her. God damn it.
I had like all of the things.
Where because you're still looking, where did you say they were?
In the top left balcony.
Top left balcony, okay. Why'd they go up there?
Damn it, I had the spell and everything, and I was like, I told Waffles too, I was like, oh, it's a new spell, and of course I can't find it. That's okay. But basically, just casting this spell that bursts of air surround them, pushing outwards, forcing the bugs that are in front of them just outwards, and one of the beetles crawling, not having the ability to fly, falls backwards over through the stairs. You see them kind of start tumbling down the stairs, and though she is not fighting, Grandmother Olu is standing there defensively, hands wide, protecting her family, as a matriarch does.
No!
And then lastly, Habram, who has been running through the auditorium and up the stairs with a gust of wind that is familiar to one Hideaki, launches himself off the top of the balcony, because that's what Habram would do. And you see him jump off, pushed with force with his gust, pushed behind him, not towards any of the bugs, giving him just that little extra lift as you see him tackle a flying giant bee mid-air to the ground. Because Habram would.
I love him. I love him so much.
All right. And I'm not moving all the tokens. However, there's movement. People are getting and siphoning out. You know that Strands of Glowing Dawn has safely made it away with her children and is helping, push people more. Takulat is still gathering people, and the auditorium is beginning to be emptier and littered with the corpses of bugs. Top of the round, let's finish things this round. Hideaki, your turn.
So, well, that was inconsequential. Everything was fine, no problem at all. All good. So the first time he said only to Ornoza, just as a sort of safety, sort of gut check. But this time, especially as things are beginning to thin, if we're all here, what's happening elsewhere? This is
That's
fucking
just to
distraction.
Ornoza?
No, this one is to everyone.
Okay.
And he just goes, this is probably a fucking distraction. And then as he says that and realizes that he was just talking to everyone on the stage, he just goes, I think this is a fucking distraction.
You
We're all here. What's happening elsewhere?
Zuma looks over immediately with a pause through their flurry of spells and is like, I was thinking the exact same thing, but we gotta get these people to safety. And you remember Zuma was eccentric, and with all of the conspiracy theories, you believe it. You believe Zuma is absolutely concocting every possible theory right now that could possibly be happening, and is happy to jump on this. But you do see with reality that nothing can be done because priority number one
Certainly
is the safety of everybody here.
But I think the response, considering their previous, not that they've had a bad relationship, but they're very tunnel visioned. So that acknowledgement sort of takes him aback for a second, and then I think that's when his eyes sort of scan to his parents, and he catches the Ignacy situation, and I think he's a little taken aback by everything. And then he sort of he'll slam his staff down. Another great idea, Arc 2, and he's going to cast Electric Arc and bounce it towards the centipede as well. So
that's a reflex save, right?
Yep.
Y'all.
This is to the centipede and then also the beetle? You bouncing between two?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any while I roll these air phase, is there any penalty to reflex saves from Tanglefoot?
Not that I'm aware of. It just says it reduces its movement by 10 feet.
Okay. Just giant centipede, a natural 1. Doing great here. And then the big boy beetle for a 25.
Of course. Couldn't be reversed. It couldn't be reversed, could it? Couldn't be the other way around, right?
No, right. But I did roll max damage, which feels appropriate in this situation. So that'll be 8 plus 3, 11 points for if you failed, and 5, I guess, if you succeeded.
Correct. And then, but they critically failed, so that's even double that. And you watch.
Oh, jeez.
There is not much that is left of this sort of like charred, charcoaly, smoky centipede. However, oop, no, I didn't mean to do -1. I meant to do minus all of that, and then a little red X because we like our red X's. As that one absolutely just you like more than double damaged it in one go, so more than doubled the health it had left. So the Goliath beetle, however, with a success, takes half damage, right? So that was 5.
Yep.
Great.
Correct.
And you do see it kind of crack. Before, it's almost like that bounced off of its carapace, but the cracks and holes that were crumbled from the harm of Arafe give it enough space to kind of still, you see the electricity just pulse through those cracks, and it does take enough damage. It's looking hurt, starting to really show that wear and tear.
Okay. Is the quickening thing from earlier still up, or is that gone now?
It is
No.
gone.
Okay, that's fine.
It's very good.
As part of Act Together, Overnose is going to move over here. Whoop.
Perfect.
And then
Too much,
with
too
my-
far.
Too far. And then with my lax action, Overnose is going to bite the beard.
Perfect. Bite it. Do it.
That is a lot because that's an actual 20.
Amazing. Critical success.
That's a.
I could be that person that goes for a total of. But
No,
I'm
you could, and I totally dropped my dice. The new dice that I bought.
the beautiful dice that you can see on our Discord.
Maximum damage.
Amazing.
So that
Nice.
is because it's a crit. That is 18 points of
Shit.
eating damage.
Chomp.
Eating.
Chomp, chomp,
damage.
chomp, chomp, chomp.
Okay, so, you all watch as with a, sorry for the grossness, particularly juicy bite, the head of this gets ripped clean off as the Goliath beetle crumples to the ground on top of, some of the other bugs that are already there. And with that, it is dead.
And he's
And
gonna
the
go look at his
immediate-
mom and dad.
Okay. At this point, we will fade away from initiative and take another step back.
Oh, jeez.
Everyone in the auditorium is working together. Teachers, conservants, some of the newer initiates that just came to watch, the attendants that you all are, and your not just your cohort, but your entire dorm group, fighting, overcoming, getting rid of the last of these that have come filtering into the auditorium. Takuluat ensuring the safety and escorting the last remnants of individuals left, including Tal's family and everyone else.
Okay,
gets
because I would
pulled
have
through.
sprinted up there, by the way. I would have climbed up
Absolutely.
that fucking wall to
And
get
you
up
all,
there.
after this moment,
Mhm.
yes, at this moment, the immediate threat over, you go through the auditorium, helping finish off whatever else needs to be finished off, or running to your family and escorting them to safety, which we'll come back to in exactness in a second. As this battle comes to an end, it's hard for me to see who I did and didn't turn over. Karide was there as well, and after looking with some confusion at these bugs, you do, like, in the midst of as things are starting to calm down, she calls over to Takulu, and she goes, "These insects don't work together naturally. They must have been compelled to attack." And as things kind of check through, and you see that there's a less immediate threat to the people here, Takulu nods at Karide and says, looks at you all, says, "Ensure everybody made it outside safely. Tend to those who needs tending. Hold." And then Mafika is just like, on it as they turn, and Zuma and Mafika go running into the tunnels that were bursted through from the beetles on either ends of these auditorium, and they start going in to just make sure there's nothing else there. At that, the rest of the dorms start filtering out as well at Takulu's orders, and Takulu begins to assure everybody, we're conducting a full investigation of what is going on. Take the rest that you need. We need to ensure Natambu's safety first. If there's tunnels, we need to see where they go. We are going to do this properly. For the moment, focus on right now. And he kind of like points to just kind of like the masses that are now outside. And so you now realize that there is a lot happening here. There are teachers that are going to investigate. There are people that are going to ensure. And you see Essie's mother, who I have their name here, Tahenkut, kind of looks at Takulu and also nods. And at that point, she leaves, but she doesn't go just outside to the people that are all like huddled around outside to safety. She heads out, and it looks like she's going like into Natambu, doing some other work that is going on here. And so with almost like with some communication and just a lot of just efficiency, things start spreading out. Things start happening. But you're tasked with ensuring the safety at the current moment, recover from your injuries, make sure everyone's safe outside the auditorium. And that's where we're going to come back in. Tell me what exactly is going on with you all.
Tal, for at least a moment, completely abandons you all and runs to make sure that their family is okay.
Totally fair.
And you help
Completely runs away.
Escort them out along with everybody else.
Yeah, like how I imagined it is like as you all were taking care of that beetle, Tal's eyes were like locked up there as soon as they saw where their family was, and was just immediately sprinting in that direction, like leaving you all on the stage and everything, like pushing past people, getting up there as quickly as physically possible to make sure that they got out. So they probably once everybody's convening outside, they're probably convening, like they're with their family already.
Perfect. So you all, well, tell me. So as you filter out, Ark, where'd you go?
Ark would be like basically walking back and forth, ensuring that any of the bugs on the ground are dead, making sure that every single person is like safe. If there's anyone hurt, he helps them up. Like now that the major fight's taken care of, again, he trusts it's good to be safe, so he's gonna do what he was told to do and like just basically make rounds in the auditorium. Okay.
As you make rounds in the auditorium and Tal basically runs to her family and gets them out, Arafe, Infar is nowhere around, but you do see as you start moving through the auditorium, Noxolo is there, no longer with Anchorroot. Anchorroot seeming to have been, managed to get to safety. And Noxolo is just kind of looking around with interest as the immediacy of the fighting has died down, and at this point doesn't seem to be like any more apparent threats. Noxolo is just kind of like kneeling in front one of like the dead insects, and is just kind of like reaching down, picking its head up, looking at it, and she seems to like put that down, get up, look to another one, and just kind of looking at all these like dead insects with a calm, curious fascination.
Yeah, so Arafe's, the magnitude of what just happened between her and Infar is kind of starting to hit. Kind of like starting to recognize like what, like in the heat of battle, it was just kind of like, oh, something's wrong. But now it's kind of starting to really kind of set in. And so she'll look at the door, and then she's actually going to turn and see if Noxolo needs any help with anything.
With most of the individuals being escorted out, there's like actually kind of quiet, and it definitely stands out that like Noxolo is like kind of the only one like still like in here particularly. And as she goes around, she turns to look at you. Yes.
Is there anything you're concerned about that maybe I can help with?
I'm just curious. This is interesting. They're all... Hold on. And then she kind of, like, closes her eyes. And as she opens them, they go full dark. And you see out of the corner of your eye one of the insects from down here, rather, with sort of like an angle into the caves from the side. Its head seeming to kind of like be in that direction. You see a sort of like a slight shift of movement, a slight glow from that dead insect. And then it fades and she comes back to you and she says, Mafika's got it. I'm sorry. No, I just am curious. I'm just comfortable with the dead. They don't bother me. So I wanted to see and investigate.
All right.
But if you're curious, you can take a look. Did the dead make you uncomfortable?
No?
She kind of smiles at you. Great. Well, look here. And kind of just takes you and starts kind of pointing out like almost like from almost a medicine check perspective of the status of these. And you see that like some of the bees that were out here, away from the wounds of whatever like killed them, seem to show signs of like exhaustion and stress. Which she points out to you. And I'm sorry, I keep doing this. The book has Noxolo as she, her, and I had made the intent to have Noxolo be they, them, and I keep forgetting that, so I apologize. And so they look at it and point this out to you and sort of just walk you through the signs that they've been noticing. And they point it out to you, they take a look, they see you engaging with them on it, and then after a little bit, after kind of going to like yet another corpse over here and seeing similar signs, there's almost this like no distinction from when they go, this one seems to have been scuffed. Are you okay? And that's like, wait, that's to you.
Oh, me?
Yes. You seem
I'm
frazzled.
I'm perfectly fine, thank you.
Is that the truth?
I think... No.
You seem to have same signs of stress. Though not the same, but you seem stressed.
Lots of
Let's
moving
sit down.
parts.
Just takes your hand, doesn't
okay.
even, just like your arm and your elbow, and just kind of brings you to the closest seat. Their Snabble goes up to you and kind of just like lays at your feet. Their Snabble's been like following them around. What is on your mind?
It's nothing really. It's just the masking ceremony and the surprise. It's just all very stressful.
Is that it?
My guardian's here. I'm worried he's gonna make me go home.
For the first time, you do see a more intense emotion cross over their face as they sit up. It took me a while to learn that no one can make you do what you don't want to do. But sometimes people have more of a hold on your life than seems fair or right. And so sometimes distance is what's needed to get out from under their thumb. if you don't want them here, you can tell the teachers. They won't invite him back.
Not that I mind him being here. He seems very focused on me coming home, getting better and coming home, and...
What's getting better? What's wrong? Are you sick?
Not necessarily. They tell me I used to be a great healer, and I haven't been for a while. And we're just hoping I can get that back. And I'm worried he'll think I'm good enough, and I don't think I am yet.
You said we're trying to be good enough, but is that what they want or what you want?
She looks kind of confused by that, because she hears Hideaki also in the back of her mind during this conversation.
I fled my home. This place has given me more freedom to explore who I am than I ever had the chance to at home. And I think it's doing the same for you. I've seen you around the dorms, and I think that you're able to figure it out here. Even if you don't know right now, you have the space to do that here. But he can't take you, you know. Can't make you go back.
I owe him quite a bit.
Oh? You owe him money?
I don't think so. No.
Do you have a contract that binds you to him?
No.
Then no one's allowed to hold that over you. If you feel like you can give back what you owe, that makes you a good person. But if you're doing it and you don't want to do it, then does the obligation come from him or from you?
Arabe's having a moment of realizing, she'll actually say it out loud and go, you know, I only know what I owe him because he's told me what I owe him.
Huh.
Watching Maria, sorry.
I think she just knocked something over.
So he told you that you owe him something, and so now you owe him something. You know, you could just tell him that you paid it back already. If people are just making arbitrary rules for you, you can make arbitrary rules right back.
You know, I feel like I should have talked to you earlier.
Well, you had someone to talk to, right?
I did.
Is she
I do.
okay? She points to your shadow.
I'm very taken aback by this. How do you know? I mean, other than the whole thing that just happened, but
I sometimes know things, but not that way.
a very special gift to have.
When I fled here, what told me to come here was the whisper from dead birds, and cow bones. They told me I could find freedom here. And similarly, when I find things like this, there's just whispers that tell me things, and that's why I'm here. I want to figure it out too. I want to figure out where these whispers come from. And you're flashed back to a moment when you first arrived at the Magaambya. And in that moment, you remember something that stood out to you from Teacher Ott's kind of, opening introduction to you all when you first met him. And it stuck out to you because of its similarities. You remember Teacher Ott saying, one student here had a family who planned her life out from birth to death, punishing them when they deviated the slightest bit. They only found freedom in the thought of their grave, and as a result, the dead began to speak to them. And you realize perhaps this is the student that they were talking about.
I'm just surprised because not many people have noticed her, and I've not been sure it was safe to talk about her.
It's weird though, because they're not dead. And yet I can sometimes hear. I don't know.
Well, Anoxolo, I would like to introduce you to Yafira.
Nice to meet you, Yafira. And she they reach their hand out to the shadow. And there's a moment where nothing happens. And then the shadow reaches up and clasps their hand. But there's no words spoken from Yafira.
Perhaps you and I can figure some things out together.
I would like that. I want to ask though, because I just sat you down to talk about anything. And it seems like you haven't talked to the people you're closest to about it. Are you scared?
Slightly?
That makes sense.
They have enough to worry about without having to worry about me.
Let them make decisions for themselves. You know what it's like to be told what you have to do. It's not pleasant.
You're right. You're very right.
I'm here to talk to you whenever you want. Anyways,
Well, should we look at more bucks?
Yeah. I think there's one over there. And they kind of just point off and go off until they're already kind of standing up. Okay. From here we cut to Hideaki.
He is are his folks with Ignacy, or Ignacy gone somewhere else?
Everybody's kind of outside at this point, and Ignacy is nowhere near them.
Okay. I'll make a point to go to Ignacy first.
You find Ignacy, you go outside looking around and you don't see Ignacy. But when you kind of duck your head back inside, you realize that they've actually kind of gone up to one of the balconies and are kind of just looking through some things, some of the dead bugs in not in the Noxolo way of moving them around, but just kind of sitting on a bench looking around and seeming to just take some notes.
He'll go about 30 feet away from them.
They pause their writing.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's fine. Kind of closes the book shut, places it on the bench next to them. Do you need anything?
So, I need to thank you. Thanks for looking out for my folks. I really appreciate it.
Just kind of like nods. Well, glad I could help whoever I could.
Good. Sorry we haven't studied together in a while. This student teacher thing is getting me all kinds of fucked up schedule-wise. But
You're busy being talented and top of the class.
takes one to know one, right?
Well, the invitation is still open. I have books and studying opportunities whenever you need.
But also, now I owe you a favor. So whenever you need
One
something
eyebrow
from
kind of
me,
like shoots up.
you just let me know.
Are
But
you
nothing
sure?
boring like Abram taking books to class bullshit. You know, that kind of stuff. Make it mean something for me. You know.
Are you sure? I don't take
Yes.
these types of IOUs lightly. If you truly mean to, shake on it. Reaches a hand out.
I'll do you one better.
When you reach out your pinky, he kind of like shrugs, like it makes no difference to me. But he
It's-
says,
It means more to me.
well, then that's meaningful in and of itself. But know that there's meanings to all kinds of things. And magic can infuse these promises as well.
I have a dragon in the astral sea on my head. The fuck do you think I'm worried about that for?
Astral Sea. Well, I'll make note of that. And he
You
goes to
should.
like seal like your pinky promise, and
Yep.
you do feel a small like surge of magic bind that promise of a kind. And he smiles, and you watch kind of like one of the pages inside the book flutter a little bit as he kind of looks down at it. Well, looks back at you. I'll call upon you should I need it.
We need to talk about that fucking book too. And he'll go over to his parents.
He smiles as he kind of like pulls it down, flips it to you, like opening up like wherever, like randomly in the middle, there's like pulling it up towards you, and you see that it's completely blank. He's like, anytime. Shuts it.
And as he walks away about 30 feet, don't you be writing about me! And then he keeps walking to his parents.
No promises. And you go to your parents. With your parents, you see there is like overall they don't seem to be like particularly injured in any like major capacity. As your mother's clearly like doting on your father, who has like a bandage on his hand, like. And she's just absolutely like, oh, does it hurt? Are you okay? Like, that kind of stuff. And he's like, it's fine. And when he sees you come out, he like steels himself just a little bit. That was a more eventful ceremony than anticipated.
Just another day in the Magaambya.
Wow. Kind of glances over to Overnoza, who's still manifested next to you, correct?
Yep.
Take care of yourself.
You saying bye already?
We have a long way back.
So you've made your choice then.
What choice? It's like I'm tired. Like what is really that kind of like?
We were going to talk about this before you left, right? That was the deal.
Like, looks confused.
Look.
Did I miss up? Did me as the GM miss something?
Oh, he essentially gave him an ultimatum of like, we're talking about it before you leave, or you're never going to see him again. But ultimatums aside, here's the thing. Brass tacks. No, I don't believe that you have any sort of strange ulterior motive to not tell me the full truth. I actually think that would be really boring, and I'm hoping it's actually more of a magical contractual type of situation that doesn't allow you to do that.
Starts rubbing the bridge of his nose, like.
But, and he's actually smiling when he says that. Look, you have your reasons, and I have mine.
Day, Hideaki. When you're ready to listen, we'll talk.
Can I be very blunt with you, Dad? That's the first time he's ever called him Dad before, by the way.
He kind of pauses. You always are, son. Go ahead.
You made a point about asking or stating, I don't know when you lost my trust. The truth is, you never had it. But you can get it. I believe that you believe that what you're doing is what's best. Now, while I might poke holes and say, why the hell did you wait 9 months to do this warning thing when I share a soul with a dragon that lives in the astral sea?
He lets your words sort of like pause. And though your father typically snaps back just as much as you do, he pauses this time. Puts a hand on your shoulder. I get it. You were chosen by a dragon. You're the son of the chief. I get it. And I'm sorry for putting you in this position of pressure and requirements and the need to be better than everybody, but I did it because I knew that you could be. I didn't realize, though, that this is what would come from that. Trust is a two-way street, Hideaki. I hope that one day you can see past yourself. And when you are able to do that, and you're ready to listen, write to me. And he kind of turns to go.
Also, tell Kazushi he totally owes me a letter back. I wrote him like forever ago.
Your mother's just like nods to you and like, you know, pats you on the cheek with this sort of like melancholy, I love you, take care of yourself.
Love you too.
I'll tell Kazushi.
Really? No goodbye hug, Dad? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Your mom squeezes your hand like extra hard, pulls you into another hug, and goes off after your father, who walks away with, for such a proud man, shoulders slumped more than you've seen before. and you're left with a weird mix of disappointment from him. But it sits weird with you because for once it's not disappointment pointed at you, it's disappointed pointed at himself. And it's a uncomfortable feeling.
I think he looks at Overnoza. That went way better than I thought it was going to.
Maybe your words reached him. Earning your trust and all that. He should know better.
You have a long way to go, too.
I've had years longer than you. You'll get
And him, too.
I've had years longer than your father. And his father. But another time. You need to rest.
And I think just to end the scene, he'll do the headbutt.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job.
There is that little bit of like a, yeah, I know, but more in body motion than it is with like a speaking. And Ark, I want to just give you another moment here. You're going through. Iska is not there.
Yeah.
Afterwards, do you head outside?
They would take their time, but like once everyone's kind of like safely put up and everything, he'd probably like just for flavor, he'd like stand there awkwardly for a little bit and be like see everyone talking to their people and kind of assume that's what's supposed to happen and then go outside.
Okay. You go outside. And look around. Make a perception check for me.
I'm not good at these. Perception. Where the fuck is it? 6.
Okay. You look around, and Iska is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, the tracks. He just stands there for a minute and thinks about going back inside with everyone. Tell me if this messes up anything, obviously. But thinks about going back inside with everyone and decides that he doesn't know why he decides it, but it's like this odd feeling in his chest. And he decides to go to his room instead.
That feeling, it's something. You have no idea what it is. It's a little uncomfortable, but you're not able to put any name to it, and you're not quite sure. Maybe you're not feeling anything. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe it's just been a long day.
Maybe I got trampled on the chest a little too hard. Who knows?
Maybe. And you genuinely think maybe it's just bruised. Maybe I'm just uncomfortable and I need to recover.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell.
So you return to your room, letting your cohort reunite with their families and taking that space to yourself. Lastly, Taliatia. And Arafe, after a while, when you do return, like Infar is not there. Hal, you usher your family out, checking them over. No one is badly injured, seeming to have just, been protected by grandmother Olu and just mostly just keeping up a defensive position until it was clear to go, and you helped herald them to safety. Now what?
know. Once Tal like made sure that they were all out and safe, and like I think the only other time Tal has been so focused on a task, specifically like, you know, in a combat scenario or anything like that, was during the tournament. They were as soon as they saw where their family was inside of the theater, it's like the panic disappeared, and all that was on their head was just get them out. And once they did that, they don't know what to do now. They don't know, like,
just sort of like,
you know, like
what do with energy now?
yeah, they're like waiting for something else to happen, especially since like Hideaki was like, oh hey, there's probably something else. They're like looking around, they're making sure, but really I think what the thing that strikes probably the audience and maybe even their family odd is that they're not walking away from their family, but as soon as their family is outside and they seem like they're safe, she's looking around to see if their friends are okay. Because they abandoned you guys on the stage. They're not exactly sure what happened after the big bugs started to fall down, because they were laser focused on where their family was.
Yeah, and based on the people coming
so they're,
in
like,
and out of
distracted.
the auditorium at
Yeah.
this point, you can sense that there's not like chaos or panic coming from inside anymore. At this point,
Right.
it's very much like, okay, people going back in means that they're cleaning up, doing stuff, like, you know, there's just the teachers are conversing and doing and clearly like tactically like making some plans and doing things, but overall the students are mostly out. You see when Airfay eventually, like later on than everybody else does, kind of come out, Noxolo coming out alongside them. You see when Hideaki has the convo with their parents and they head out. You see Ark kind of come out and head off before Grandmother Olu kind of grabs your hand, your paw gently in theirs, and says, "You were wonderful. You did very well. You learned a lot already at the school, I can tell."
Yeah. Some of it was still very new, but the people here are very smart.
Not smarter than you. You are talented and smart. She kind of taps you, like, on the forehead, like, pop, pop. But we'll have to return tonight to the caravan. We'll be here for a couple of days.
Okay.
But can we talk before we head out?
Specifically is like okay, she's okay. I want to I will nod into like the rest of the family. You know, I want to share just like a little hugging kit because Tal intends after this little conversation to go elsewhere. But they'll give the rest of their family a hug and say, "I want to bring my friends to see the circus tomorrow, if that's okay."
Your mother seems a little
please,
bit more
please.
shaken.
I would like to go to there.
If kind of like
nodding.
nodding.
There doesn't have to be a performance. I just want them to meet everyone.
Yeah, I heard. She kind of like looks around and like you do look at like some of the action that is still occurring amongst the teachers and some sort of like more organized, like you see like groups of 3 conservants talking to Karide, who then kind of like run off in a direction. And even though there's a moment of calm here, you can tell that this isn't over. and that the school is kind of more concisely going into some form of action, some form of like things that are going on. And you think that like if you're free, that you're able to do so, but you might be needed. And Takulu did say like take care of everybody, get some rest, and we'll you know like get back to it. We'll be here for a little longer. If you, and this is your father kind of like looking around, like if you have the time, we'd love to meet your friends in not this environment, and welcome them. You know everybody's welcome.
Okay, I'll give everybody another hug, and I'll give specifically Ryweir a very big hug.
And he hugs you back.
Great.
Oh, I did this here, and like pulled out from their back pocket is a folded up sort of like, not folded, it's almost just like a postcard actually, that he did his best to like keep not crumpled, but on it's like almost like a cardstock kind of firmer piece of paper that has a small painting on it that he seemed to have made you, and it's almost like a bird's eye view of the circus in action. And it's really, really cute and really small. And it's like, you could tell that even though they're acting casual, they put a lot of effort into this. And you can even imagine that they kind of like climbed up on one of like the more one of the posts from the acrobatic like parts of one of the things and just kind of sat up there with paints and tried to paint a snapshot of the life. And he's like, so you don't miss it too much.
This is perfect. I know exactly where to go.
Better be like right in the middle
It'll go
of
on a
everything.
very special. Oh, don't worry.
Don't put anything over it. I'm
Maybe
serious.
dream of it.
Okay. Kind of like punches you like very lightly, like in the arm, like just they're ribbing you just as much as like they usually are, but you can tell that like they missed you. And then like before you go walk away, he kind of like, come on, and pulls you into a hug. Like, all right.
Yes.
And he's just like, take care of yourself, okay? I'll see you soon though, but take care of yourself. You can hold your own though. Okay. And like at that point, like your mom kind of is like pulling him away.
Just like pulling him. All right.
So you go with your grandmother to just take a seat in the grass under a tree somewhere. And she kind of almost like wearily, just a little bit exhausted. You hear the groaning a little as like just a soft sort of like exhale as she tries to settle down.
I would help her sit down.
Yeah.
I would help her down, yeah.
So, how much do you know of the truth? Your powers? Your time in the woods?
I know a lot now, but I'm still very unsure. But I know a lot about you. And something happened right after we got here.
There's a look of concern. What?
I don't want you to worry the rest of them, but
She kind of is looking at you like very, very, very. Just watching every detail.
During a class assignment, something went wrong. And I got very sick. And
You met her?
died. Yeah.
And how? You. That's not. Takes a moment to just sort of compose herself.
It was in this strange forest, and they said that they had met me before, and they told me your story. And
This is my fault. She kind of takes her hands in like hers. I'm sorry, Taliatia. This you are here because of me. Because a deal I made in naivety. I did it to protect.
I know.
But it doesn't excuse it. And I'm sorry. Truly.
Sometimes we have to
They
make
said-
impossible choices.
Impossible choices, yes. I am well, I am me. And now that you have met them, you know, when I had your mother, my daughter, I knew that it was going to be okay. And when she grew up, had your brother, I thought truly everything would be okay. At that point, I didn't think about what it meant. I was so used to moving. I didn't want to ever be in one place again. But I made it our livelihood. And the stories of never staying in one place is because of me. Because that's the promise that I made. But when years pass, I thought it didn't... I thought it was my choice. I didn't think it was... decided for me. And then you were born. And I had hoped that it wouldn't happen. But there we were. On the day you came back from the woods with Nim, I realized that we were three, just like them. The matriarch, the mother, and the maiden. And that left you. And I didn't know what that meant, so I wanted you to find answers for all of us. To at the very least make you have some semblance of a chance of control to influence your own fate, your own future. So that it wasn't my choice that decided it all. Instead, I just put you in danger. And made things worse, I think.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't make things worse. We didn't know any of this would happen.
I put you in danger, Tal.
I put myself in danger plenty of times, though.
Did they tell you anything? Anything about what they want?
No. But something else happened while I was there, though. In order to come back, I had to tie myself to another person.
Tie yourself?
I pull out the thread from my pocket.
She looks startled. Can I see that?
Of course, and I'll hand it to her. It wasn't this exactly, but when I was there, they said I had to choose because my thread was unraveling, and they were going to make me choose you or Mother, but my friends were there and they were helping me come back, and then I chose one of them, and I don't know what that means.
They let you choose somebody else. There's definitely a look of like contemplation and an intellectual one, like a trying to piece puzzle pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
When I first called upon them, it wasn't because I knew what I was calling. I was just desperate. And in that room, all of those magical items looked something like this. I picked. And they came forth. And so that I would not have to be trapped in one place ever again, to ensure my safety and your mother's. They manipulated the threads. That was the deal. I didn't know what it meant. But I knew that it would come eventually. They said you see her trying to like remember the maiden would fulfill the matriarch's due, I think. I didn't know. But I think I'm beginning to see now. She places the thread back in your hand.
Put it back in my pocket.
This wasn't your choice. For that, I will always be sorry. But you have my support. Please write to me if anything like that happens again. And I'm sorry again, I wasn't fully honest with you.
She's just gonna hug.
She pats you like
Gently
on the shoulder.
but firmly.
Yeah. She pats you and sort of just like that sort of like they're there, but it's okay. But like there's an exhaustion in her. And you're not sure if it's deeper than the toll of the day on such an old catfolk, or perhaps something deeper.
I know,
But
it's
she
something
pats you.
else. I know it is. Tal knows it is, I should say.
It's getting late. I should get back. I hope you come visit. Everyone would love to see you.
I think you would like my friends.
I'm sure if I saw them with you on stage, yeah. They seem talented.
You're all very special.
A hand, if you don't mind. And like, she does not
okay.
usually ask for help at all.
Yeah.
But you do see her kind of like needs some help getting up.
100%. 100%.
And with that, you kind of see her off to make sure that she, reaches back to your parents safely as they head out of the Magaambya and back into the Tambu.
I'm gonna go find Ark.
Um,
He's a bunch
Ark is not anywhere with everybody else.
I saw
Are you
him leaving though, right?
Yep. Yep, we did see them leave. You gonna go find them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Assuming they went one of two places. If they headed, east, they would have gone to their room. If they headed west, they're going to their hideaway.
Yeah, and so you start heading that way. I will ask Ark, is this a time where you allow yourself to be found, or otherwise try to find some alone time?
I don't think he has thought of the finding alone time thing yet. He definitely just went to his room. It's pretty easy to find, I imagine.
Okay. You find them.
Is your door open or closed?
Yeah, it's probably correct.
Okay. They would... Ark, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Do you mind if I come in?
Sure.
I would open it. Come on in.
It's like the same exact state that it was last time. Absolutely zero has changed.
I don't think Tal would sit down, at least not right away. I think they would stand there, and they're kind of like arms are crossed because they're still hurt. Kind of arms crossed in front of them. Are you okay?
Yes, that was less bad than the centipede fight.
We did have
Are
a lot
you?
of help this time. I think I'll be okay. Does Ark look hurt?
I mean, yeah, he looks a little scratched and bruised. He's like half HP. He got trampled on a couple times.
A couple times.
Hey, same though. Hey, same though. Okay. Iska asked me to do something. And I wanted to see if it was okay with you.
Art gets like a confused look. Okay. I can't tell you if I don't know.
They said that they wanted me to help you on your journey. To perfection. And there's like a little bit of like a like scoffing laugh when they say perfection.
Sure. He just kind of sits there and like looks up to the ceiling for a second. Nods. And says, well, if Iska said it, it's likely a good idea. So it is okay.
Do you always listen to what Iska says?
Yes.
Has Iska ever been wrong?
No.
I'm trying to think of like there's some kind of like mixed emotion, I think, playing across Tal right now.
For sure.
And like they're thinking really hard for a little bit.
Do you always listen to your parents?
Most of the time. But I feel like it's different because I think my parents actually care about me. And like she's looking at you dead serious.
Yeah, and he doesn't like take offense to the statement, but he looks back at you and says, "And Iska cares not for me."
I think Tal's gonna sit down at this point, as they're speaking. It definitely doesn't feel the same, and I only just met them today, so I can't say much, but from what my impression was, it felt like they cared about you as much as someone cares about a new book. They like it. They don't want it to get damaged. They don't want it to get lost. But if it falls into a puddle or falls off a wagon, they can just get another one. And that's not what caring about someone really is.
You see like a contemplation on his face.
If you cared about someone, if you cared about that book, you would do everything in your power to treat it well, to make sure it lasts.
He thinks. He probably lets the silence hang for like 5-10 seconds. Then he sits up a little in his bed so he can look at you better and says, "I agree that it is likely not the same, as everybody comes from different backgrounds and circumstances. That
Tal nods
said,
in acknowledgement, yeah.
yeah. That said, I don't believe." He like stops himself, and you can tell he's trying to like word it the correct way. And he goes, "If she did not care for me, she would not have approached you."
Maybe. Maybe it was fate.
He gives you like the no such thing.
Dismisses the hand wave.
I do want to help. In whatever way we figure out how to. And whatever version of your perfection it is. I want to see you reach it.
He gives like a small smile. Says, "That is your choice. I think it is probably the best idea. I am okay with that. And it seems we are." You see, like he gives the same like scoffing laugh you gave earlier, as if to like mimic you, and he says, "We are fate bound to all be together in a class." And then you hear like under his breath, he's like, "But you know, like if I left tomorrow, then we're not fate bound, so."
I think Tal kind of like smiles a little bit at that, and stands up, and says, "Well, if you left tomorrow, I'd be very sad." And is going to turn and head out.
As you close the door, he leans back on his bed and, like, his mouth doesn't move, but camera on him and everything, you still hear in his voice, "Don't worry, I'm not leaving."
Yay!
My heart.
And lastly, Hideaki, what's going on?
Oh, Hideaki's thinking a lot right now. And, excuse me. We find him in a familiar place. On top of a familiar tower. Sitting next to Overnoza.
You kind of on the
what we
roof
d-
of the dorm rooms? Perfect.
Yep. What we didn't see was he tried to lay down. Didn't work. He tried to go to the Sprout house. Successfully navigated the hammock. Still didn't work. Came up here. And Overnoza hears feels this like profound sadness coming from him right now. And he's rolling back through the conversation with his folks over and 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 over again. Initially, in the moment, he said, well, that went better than I expected. But that really, what he's starting to realize is that really wasn't true either. He was surprised at how low energy and toned down it was. He just probably, after several minutes of silence, he just says out loud, "I think I broke him." I've waited so long to confront this man. It doesn't feel the way that I thought it would.
I think that's expected. There are factors that we can't always calculate for. He made his decision and his choices.
Wow, even with the ultimatums, he was really going to still leave, even though I wiped them.
He told you a story.
He did.
Do you believe him?
I do. But as you said, there's always two sides to every story. But really, that's not true either, because that third piece involves me.
You see, though, when you say, you believe him, he kind of almost expected you to end there and was going to kind of nod. But there is a feeling of pride when you mention the other side, the other perspective. And he kind of nods. Good.
But that's just it. Not even the correct decision. He wants me to take his side, right? We just look at it objectively, right? By him leaving without any additional explanation, how wouldn't I take yours? So he loses twice? It just doesn't make any sense. What am
I don't know what his intents were because I'm not in his head, but Hideaki, you're focused on his intent when I'm here. Why don't you ask me? If you know that there's perspectives and truths and You hear one side of the story. Get the other side. I've been sitting here waiting for you to ask. Focus on the truth.
The last time I asked, we have to wait for you to get stronger.
He just told you a story. I can tell you my side.
Well, I heard one side of the story. What's yours?
You see this kind of like curling smile as you finally ask. And he sort of sits up, looking at his own form right now, looking at his claws and his scales, watching them kind of glint off the moonlight. Way in the past, there was a kitsune village. Made a deal with an amicable copper dragon. He kind of like smiles. They would offer their help to me, provide me with goods, feed, in exchange for protection. It seemed fair. It wasn't really a big deal and it made my life easier, so why not? So I did, and I protected them, and they flourished. Thanks to me. But as the village flourished, their demands grew. And your generations passed far quicker than mine. And so the story shifts. I was an easier and more efficient hunter, they said. Wouldn't it make sense if they just provided the treasure and the gold, that I could do the hunting for them? And they promised it would free them to craft finer things for me. I was amused at their audacity at the time. And I didn't mind stretching my wings every once in a while anyways, so I agreed. But skills and talents and craftsmanship of the village, again over generations, grew. So did their fame. And they decided that they were scared of me. Or that they weren't getting enough trade because everyone was scared of the dragon that was amongst them. And they decided that they could simply trade for the food that I provided. And they decided they didn't need me anymore. You see at this point, he kind of is like shifts from one foot to the other, a little maybe touchy subject at this point. Like this is kind of maybe where it's getting to be from like, oh, ancient history to there's emotion. Let's just say they broke our pact.
How did you
Because
respond?
generations hold no meaning for some. It's funny that your father says to respect him when he does not know how little respect he has had for his generations before him. But stories change. They always do. So here I am, and here you are.
How did they ban you to your current place?
They tricked me. It's not something I'm proud of, and not something that will happen again.
No wonder he doesn't want me to bring you out.
Exactly. Trust is not a simple thing, Hideaki. Because I trusted. And look where it got me.
So let me resolve another assumption then. Are you protecting the village?
I am tied to it. For they didn't... Don't know what they did. I am tied to it. That much I know. But I
So
am
if I'm
here in the astral plane. And the closest I can get is as close as you are to the village.
And what happens when I'm successful? Assuming that it doesn't kill you.
Well, again, that snout curling up into a smile. Let's play it by ear.
That's bullshit. You've been sitting in the Ashel Sea for what? Hundreds of my lifetimes? All you've had to think about from a motive perspective is how you get out and what you do afterwards.
Hideaki, I've learned that placing my trust in individuals is a difficult thing. So if you want the honest truth, Hideaki, I don't trust you to be powerful enough to help me. But prove that to me, and I will tell you.
I have nothing to prove to you. You misunderstand the situation that we're in together, I think. Just because I said that I wanted to doesn't mean that I'm going to. So that's something to keep in mind too as we get stronger together. Because as
What do you
far
think will be your options? You've accepted our souls to be intertwined.
certainly
Your soul is shared with me.
certainly doesn't mean I have to get you out of there.
Kind of looks at you. Think carefully, Hideaki. We can work together. Or we cannot.
Trust is a fickle beast, isn't it?
And in that moment, he looks at you straight in the eye. And then there's just a curiosity. I would like you to make a fortitude saving throw for me.
Awesome. Let's fucking play. Oh my god. Natural one. I'm dead serious.
Amazing.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Great!
You feel an odd sensation as Overnosa unmanifests himself, pulling away from your psyche, from your soul, as you take. Oh, damn, that didn't go. Hold on. That's not what I meant to do.
How many hit points do you have?
25.
Okay.
Oh, come on, I'll tell you.
46 damage.
Just roll,
What?
roll a nice tidy 40d6 damage. Let's go.
The my little like minimized NPC sheets were like kept getting in the way of my dice roller and not letting me click what I wanted to click. My bad. There we go. All right.
For the record, no regrets whatsoever.
Of course not.
God.
Of course not.
You were
This is
Hideaki.
role playing, y'all.
As you feel this sort of
stop
like
pushing.
forced disconnect, it's like your soul itself is ripping or pulling in a way that shouldn't be pulled. And there on the rooftop alone, you take 13 psychic damage.
Does Tal feel any of that?
That's a good question.
Things I hadn't thought about until this exact moment.
That's interesting.
Oh no!
I didn't mean it.
Tell.
No, this
can
is
you
great!
make me a flat d20 roll for me?
I would love to.
Actually, no. We're gonna do Waffles' favorite thing.
Oh, gosh.
You're gonna roll a d100.
Yeah, let's go.
However,
Let's go.
However, I would like you to pick
High or low?
because we love our fate here.
Our ranges? Are we picking a range?
We're picking a
Picking a number.
range. I'm trying to think
Okay.
what makes sense
Jeez.
here. We will pick a range of 10.
Okay.
Oh man, this is so awesome.
Okay. We'll do 38 to 47.
38 to 47.
I love-
Roll me a d100.
I love the odd
Roll 'em
range
up on me.
pull.
Nice. I gotta go look at the
93.
Okay.
90.
Wait, can I spend a hero point on this?
Please say yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the question: do you want to hit it or not?
No.
That is a question. I don't know if
You
this is good or
sit there after you leave Ark's room. And it's actually been a while. It's late.
bad. Okay. I'm in my hideaway then. The
Okay.
picture, by the way, it's on that little table that's next to the like window. I'm up in the hammock though.
Perfect. And you're like kind of at this point like dozing because it's been a long day.
Mhm.
And as you do, you feel just kind of like the hair on the back of your neck, the fur on the back of your neck. And you know something. You feel something. Do you choose to use a hero point?
Yes.
A hero
Twist
point
fate,
in game
baby.
is considered a what's it called? Is it fate? What's the tag? I
fortune
forget.
effect.
Fortune effect, thank you. It is considered a fortune effect.
Of
And
course
in
it
your
is.
choice to use unconsciously a hero point in character, you feel this sensation and you decide to pull on the string. And when you do, you don't have to pick another range of 10 as you take 13
Yes.
points of psychic damage.
Oh my god. Hell
Y'all,
yeah.
that
unconscious?
almost put me down
Oh.
to 0.
It
Yeah,
did.
that was-
It did.
And as it rocks you, you hear Nim as they pick their head up and look in the direction of the Spire dormitory across the way and goes, I'll be right back.
Oh,
And
shit.
disappears.
Oh my god.
Oh, familiar feud.
And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Hold on, before I gotta respond. I gotta respond like when he leaves though. Before we go, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So like as that like is ripped away from him, and he completely of absolute surprise and like loss of breath, and like he feels his like heart beating like. I think he finally, after several moments, steals himself and stands up and just says, "Well, we found the line then. Game on."
That's not what you say to a dragon! hey, asshat, you're gonna get me killed!
We'll wrap up two more things.
Okay.
Arafe, what's going on with you?
Oh, so Arafe would be helping them get everybody adjusted and situated, making sure everybody's okay. And then she's going to, wave bye to Noxolo. And on the way out, she's going to stop by Teacher Ott and put her hand on his shoulder and go, "We will not be at the next assembly." And she's just going to go.
We politely decline.
Amazing.
Then she heads to her room and passes out.
We'll send in our ballots electronically, thank you.
Absentee from here on out. We will be coming in via Zoom.
No, safety first.
You get up, Idiaki, and jump down from the tower easily. The gravity defying, making it just a quick little touchdown. And you return to your room. There is a silence. You do not hear Overnose's presence. Finally, though it's late, you finally go to bed. And the smell of mist and some trees fills your nostrils.
Syrup, I love you.
As you open your eyes in a misty forest. That's where we'll pick up next week.
I am not okay! I am not okay!
Push the red button, everybody! Always push the red button!
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh no!
Let's fucking go!